This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. This could be a historical night in the NBA. LeBron James with a shot at becoming the all-time scoring leader. He enters the matchup against Oklahoma City 36 points away from passing Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. The achievement, the result of LeBron's sustained greatness, notes ESPN NBA insider Brian Windhorst.
It's a beautiful side effect of the longevity of his career. It's such an iconic record. I mean, it's really been held by two guys since the 60s, or I guess the early 70s. That is such an important thing, and it's something to be celebrated and reflected on. But really, it's the product of him being so great for so long.
Brian Windhorst on Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max. Lakers Thunder, 9:30 Eastern, ESPN Radio. NFL from ESPN's Adam Schefter. The 49ers hiring former Panthers interim coach Steve Wilks as their defensive coordinator. He takes over for DeMeco Ryans, now the head coach of the Texans. NHL, the Sabres locked up another key piece of their core. They signed forward Dylan Cousins, 7 years, $49 million. U.S. Labor Secretary Marty Walsh leaving the Biden administration to become the executive director of the NHLPA.
Do you own or rent your home? Sure you do. Fortunately, Geico makes it easy to bundle your home and car insurance. It's a good thing, too, because having a home is hard work. Go to geico.com, get a quote, and see how much you could save. Geico.com. Easy.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Bonus. That's bonus. Enter it now.
Log on now to ESPNAVL.com. And good luck from ESPN Asheville.
In the heart of Beer City, USA, two men, one journey to create a sports show unlike any other. Unfiltered, raw, and honest. One of them played a soccer goalie opposite Ben Stiller. The other once scored 6 points on Steph Curry. These guys know their shit.
Let's go!
Tank Spencer, Jeremy Greene, the Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets. Low prices, love the savings. And Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
It is the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The Sportsocracy heard everywhere on the iHeartRadio app, seen everywhere on YouTube, coming to you live from the Ingles Studio. And, of course, don't forget to go to thesportsocracy.com. Click the live video link. That way you can subscribe to the YouTube channel. Join us in the chat. It is a Super Tuesday. Well, not really. That's a politics thing. But
yeah, we don't do that
Super Bowl week. It's Tuesday of the week. Screw it. I'm going Super Tuesday. Getting excited for the Super Bowl.
It couldn't be worse than media night at the opening night of the Super Bowl.
I mean, it's just played out.
Oh, that is the stupidest thing we do. That is as sports fans, it is the dumbest thing we do, because you get all of these media members that wouldn't know a football from a bocce ball.
Mm-hmm.
That ask questions like, and I swear to you this happened, Nick Sirianni, which Eagles players would you not let date your daughter? She's 5, bruh.
I'll go with all of them.
So I'm going to say all the above.
Yeah, every dang one of them.
And you're weird.
That's crimes.
Please get out of here.
Don't do crimes.
I also love the guy that said, Jalen, I just wanted to man-to-man apologize for telling you that I didn't think the Eagles could win with you. He just looked at him like, what am I supposed to say now?
Right.
He went full Ricky Bobby. I don't know what to do with my hands.
You always have the cute little moments where like a little 8-year-old will ask, some
of course you think that's cute.
budding YouTuber that will ask a question. And
of course you think that's cute.
It's like the red carpet for all of these award shows. It doesn't mean anything, and it's just fluff. And that's why I don't even care.
It's the worst.
Care. Like the biggest story that I saw, a repeated story of the coverage of opening night of the Super Bowl was Darius Slay pulled a question out of the hat, and it said, "Where is Kansas City?" And he said, "Kansas."
No. Oh, and your best Alex Trebek voice.
I mean, he's not wrong.
Oh, sorry.
He's not wrong. There is a Kansas City in Kansas.
Yeah.
It's just the Missouri one is the one.
We're talking about Missouri.
Right.
That's the one that's this is gonna be a fun day. I can already tell.
Yeah, It's absolutely ridiculous, but we cannot wait to get into all of the Super Bowl coverage, which we will be starting our breakdowns of the big game for you today. It's time for the opening drive. And it's always brought to you by Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville, 629 Brevard Road. Mention the Sportsocracy when you go by to get your new or certified pre-owned vehicle from Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville. Mention the Sportsocracy. They'll give you $250 bonus on your trade-in.
I love new toys, and I'm in a brand new, fully loaded Platinum Rogue, which
sweet.
I didn't even know existed, and it's in the sweetest matte gray color. I don't know what the official color is. I'm going to find out. Everywhere I've taken that car.
I thought this is why they called it platinum.
Oh, no, platinum is the trim level. It is a matte gray. It's so cool. Everywhere I take it, people stop me and go, hey, what color is that car? And I tell them the same thing I tell you. You should go to 629 Brevard Road. Tell them the formerly fat guys from the Sportsocracy sent you, and you can find out for yourself.
You should just tell them. Just tell them that's platinum. It's all platinum.
It's awesome.
I don't know what color it is, but I asked Jeremy yesterday. I said, you think they could they could paint my car that color?
For the low price of just $4.99.
I don't want to spend money on it. You know me. I'm cheaper than oxygen. I can't.
That reminds me. Later in the show, I'm going to ask you a question because I feel like a company that we have all talked about in the last year or so has come up with an idea that was geared directly at you.
What, at cheap people?
Yes.
Okay. I'm always down for dispelling the myths.
And I'm not so sure that you're going to be down for this, but we'll talk about it later in the show.
All right. Yeah, we'll be talking about money coming up later on in this hour because there is a boatload of money going to be wagered on the Super Bowl. And I got a couple of examples of massive wastes of money that are being laid down at sports books all across the country. As, the Super Bowl is upon us coming up in the 4 o'clock hour. We're going to be doing the Eagles offense versus the Chiefs defense. Breaking it down.
And I'm going to throw just a slew of prop bet bangers at you because I feel like Vegas is telling you exactly how this game's going to go. If you but only listen.
We got coaching news all around the NFL, defensive coordinators, offensive coordinators, and the like getting hired and interviewed left and right. Steve Wilks has a job with the 49ers, so congratulations to the former Carolina Panthers interim head coach.
But, of course, it's a Tuesday, which means Aaron Rodgers said stuff.
Yay! And Aaron Rodgers is, he's finding himself once again. This is the fourth offseason in a row that Aaron Rodgers has to go find himself.
Aaron Rodgers is getting crazier by the day.
Of course he is.
So he went on the Pat McAfee show today because today's Tuesday, and that's what he does. And his exact line was he has to go on a darkness retreat and find himself.
Uh-huh.
And then he will be able to tell us whether he's playing or not. You do realize that if you just say the same words he said, but you just maybe change your facial expression or anything like that, you go from Captain Ayahuasca to the crazy person that buries their money in mayonnaise jars in their yard.
I want to know why the darkness retreat is one step too far for you, though.
Okay, so I'm if you're watching on YouTube, you'll be able to see my face as I do this, and it's going to prove my point. I have a quote from Aaron Rodgers directly in front of me. I'm going to read it, and you see how crazy this sounds. I'm still in the art of contemplation about my future. After my isolation retreat, I'll decide whether I want to play or not. And I don't trust the government, and the satellites are listening, and birds aren't real.
That sounds like Jeremy Greene to me.
I mean, Aaron Rodgers has become an absolute crazy person.
He's not a crazy person.
He's a crazy person.
He just likes to get in touch with his other side.
He's done all the drugs, and the drugs have taken hold.
Yes, they have. But here's the thing. So he wants to do this darkness retreat, which is basically he's going to go live in a cabin all by himself out in the middle of nowhere. No electricity, no lights, none of that stuff. And he's going to spend like 4 days in total darkness all by himself.
So, all right. So let me take that, and I'm going to raise you one. I'm going to live in a cabin in the woods with no power, and I'm going to write and journal and chronicle my thoughts.
Yep.
you realize that's also the plot of the Unabomber, right? Like, you get that.
There will be lots of pro and cons lists. We will be deciding our future. Look, to me, this is not as crazy as what he did last year. The ayahuasca getaway, the ayahuasca cleanse that he went on.
Oh, there's no doubt he's doing that.
No, you can't do that more than once.
Oh, 100% he's doing that.
No.
I'll guarantee you he has luggage ready. It has 4 of those Nicolas Cage Con Air white tank top shirts, 4 pairs of jeans, 18 bags of Funyuns, 1 coffee cup, and all of the recreationals you could possibly have.
This is a walk in the park. A walk in the park compared to last year's retreat. The ayahuasca retreat. Have you ever heard about what goes on at one of those things? Like, I know we talked a little bit about it last year when it happened, but we just got vague details. I heard recently on the Two Bears, One Cave podcast, Ron White was on there.
Awesome, by the way.
With Tom Segura, and Tom Segura was asking him about going on one of these ayahuasca retreats, because if you don't know, Ron White, he has obviously been a struggling alcoholic for many years. He is now clean. He doesn't drink anymore. And so he had to go through this ayahuasca retreat thing, and listening to him describe the process of drinking the tea, and then, like, they put you in a room with a whole bunch of people. You got, like, a mat that you lay on, and they give you, like, a bucket to puke in, because sure enough, you're gonna. And it's just him describing the different ins and outs of, like, they'll come in and they'll turn the lights on, and they'll tell everybody, okay, in about 30 minutes, you're going to go on this little trip, and it's going to be the craziest thing you've ever done. And if you need to go lay down, you need to go lay down. Or you need to puke, you need to puke. Go puke. It's like,
this sounds like rushing a frat. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah, but it's so much worse than that, because it's guaranteed. Like, you might go to a frat party when you're in college, and you might get sick. You're 100% getting sick on one of these ayahuasca things.
You obviously didn't go to the same frat parties I did.
No.
Because you would have walked in, and you would certainly not have walked out, but you might not have survived it.
To me, the darkness retreat, this is normal compared to what he did last year.
I think I'm going to go on my own darkness retreat.
You couldn't do that.
No, mine's so much different. No, I'm just going to go to my condo. I think I'm going to do this next week after the Super Bowl, because we will not be here the Thursday and Friday after the Super Bowl. So we will be gone for 4 days.
Okay.
Tank is taking a lovely vacation. Anniversary?
My wife's birthday.
I know
my
it was
wife's
one or the
birthday is actually on Super Bowl Sunday, and she's super PO'd about it, so I got to kind of make it up to her next week.
Indeed. So we'll be going for a 4-day weekend. We'll still have content going on the channel, all of those things, but I think I'm going to do a darkness retreat. And here's my idea. I'm going to take a loaf of Hawaiian sweet bread. The
King's Hawaiian?
King's Hawaiian.
Yeah, King's Hawaiian rolls, okay.
1 jar of Duke's mayonnaise.
Uh-huh.
A pack of Boar's Head ham and cheese.
Okay.
And nothing but Domestic Lights and Fireball. And that's going to be my darkness retreat. And when I come back on Monday, I feel like I will have had an enlightenment, and I'm going to need a Tylenol or 2.
Yeah, that's where's the darkness come into play here? Like, because the whole point of the darkness retreat is to unplug from everything and not be on your phone,
there will be no one
not
there.
Be watching television.
I'll do it by myself. I'll just sit on my couch, as opposed to going out in public like we'll be doing for the Super Bowl at 41 North Merriman Avenue. The Village Porch, we're doing a bar takeover. We'll be there all day. Come hang out with us, watch the big game. We'll be giving things away, some fun prizes. We've got drink specials, all the good things. Mm-hmm. 41 North Merriman Avenue, the Village Porch.
You don't want to miss the mullet maker. It's like a boiler maker.
I want to see the first one of you I want to see the first one of you that's willing to drink it together, because I'll go ahead and tell you I'm not.
But why?
I mean,
it's all gross anyway. Why wouldn't you just drink it?
You're gross. Okay.
Just drop it in there.
You give me an apple flavored a cider or something. That I'll drink together.
Absolutely.
I think I just made an executive decision.
I've had those it's
very good.
Not a lot, but I've had them from time to time. They're pretty good.
Executive decision. It is decided.
Yes. Ciders and fireball shots, that's the way to go. Domestic lights, you're asking to be hurt.
Patrick Holt with our first one of these of the day. If you eat nothing but ham sammies and drink alcohol, I'm sure you'll have several darkness moments. Good point.
Maybe so. I don't believe that qualifies as a darkness retreat.
If Aaron Rodgers qualifies, if he's just going to go out in the woods and enjoy some crimes, okay, then mine counts.
Enjoy some crimes. Why is it always got to be about the crimes for you?
Over under crimes Aaron Rodgers commits on a darkness retreat. Line's 2.5. You taking the under or the over?
I'll take the over.
There it is.
I'll take the over because you're not only going to get use, but possession, maybe with intent to distribute.
Never know. He'll be out there handing it to woodland creatures.
I mean, he's going to be there for 4 days. He's got to have a lot on it.
Imagine him and Mr. Squirrel. Just try this. It'll open up your mind, and there'll be so many more things more than acorns.
I'm going to use our age-old line. What are you, a cop? You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville.
2023 Southern Conference Downtown Dribble and Kids Fest, presented by Champion Credit Union, will be held Saturday, March 4th, 9:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. at the Roger McGuire Greene at Peck Square Park. The Downtown Dribble will feature interactive games, inflatables, pep bands, cheerleaders, and parade. Each participant will receive a basketball, Downtown Dribble t-shirt, and a ticket to the noon session quarterfinal basketball games. Check-in will begin at 9:30 a.m. at Roger McGuire Greene. To register, visit downtowndribble.eventbrite.com.
Everyone's heard about the housing market and this being the best time to sell a house in years. But the same thing applies to cars. Whether you're looking to buy a car, trade in, or sell that car in the driveway collecting dust, Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville wants to buy your car. They have 2 on-site managers that work with Kelly Blue Book to give you top dollar for your vehicle. You can even have your car appraised instantly at AndersonNissan.com. Stop in and visit them today at 629 Brevard Road in Asheville or call them at 828-365-1663.
Running a small business is no small task. At Home Trust Bank, we work hard to prepare businesses for whatever tomorrow may bring. Your dreams are our business, and we have local experts who can help you plan for a successful future. Dependable guidance you need, and service you'll appreciate. At Home Trust Bank, we take your small business banking personally. Visit your local Home Trust branch or anytime at htb.com. Member FDIC.
Did you hear about Taco Bell's apology? Yeah, they apologized for going too far with their breakfast. Like the naked egg taco and chicken biscuit nachos? It was too much. All you need in the morning is tasty, simple food. Like the breakfast crunch wrap. Fluffy eggs, melty cheese, sausage, crispy hash browns, wrapped in a warm tortilla. Or, as some call it, a breakfast crunch thing. Grab one today, only at Taco Bell. At participating U.S. Taco Bell stores during breakfast hours only until 11 a.m. while supplies last. Contact local store for hours and participation, which vary.
Beloved former basketball coach and educator Satch Sullinger knows you got to keep moving to stay healthy. But that's not so easy when your aching joints won't cooperate.
We still want to move and we still want to get around and we still want to be active, but we start to deteriorate the moment we quit moving.
QC Kinetics regenerative treatments help restore movement in stiff, aching knees, hips, shoulders, and back, using only your natural healing properties to help restore damaged joints. That's a huge positive for Satch.
It's working, and what I really like about it is there's nothing foreign put in my body. Everything that was put in my body has been taken from my body. I love it. I love it. Like I said, I want to live until the day I die.
Get rid of the pain and start moving again. Call QC Kinetics today for your complimentary consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 828-333-9517. That's 828-333-9517. 828-333-9517.
Did you hear about Taco Bell's apology? Yeah, they apologized for going too far with their breakfast. Like the naked egg taco and chicken biscuit nachos? It was too much. All you need in the morning is tasty, simple food. Like the breakfast crunch wrap. Fluffy eggs, melty cheese, sausage, crispy hash browns, wrapped in a warm tortilla. Or, as some call it, a breakfast crunch thing. Grab one today, only at Taco Bell. At participating U.S. Taco Bell stores during breakfast hours only until 11 a.m. while supplies last. Contact local store for hours and participation, which vary.
The Sportsocracy.
What are you people? On dope?
It is the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville, and okay. And so Aaron Rodgers is going on his little darkness retreat. Soaring Eagle 175 in the comments says, "Now I can't get the thought of Aaron Rodgers dealing weed to poor Bambi out of my head." Yeah. Well, I mean, I wouldn't put it past him.
Oh, that's all I have in my head is Aaron Rodgers. I actually have just a cabin in the woods, and for some reason he's whittling something, and he's talking to a beaver. That's all I can think about for your darkness retreat. And I'm going to say this as clearly as I can. I am proudly sporting my New York Jet green today. And Captain Hiawaska, I don't care how many deer you talk to. I don't care if you and a possum become friends. I need you to get your head right by March 15th so you can come to New York, win me a Super Bowl. How about that?
He's really just trying to channel the devil. He needs to make another deal to replace the one that Joe Namath made with the Jets.
Okay. I'm not a moralist. I don't really care what you're doing.
Speaking of franchise quarterbacks, there's a report out today that Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens are $100 million apart on the guaranteed money that he would be seeking in his contract extension. I'm not surprised by this at all.
You shouldn't be.
I mean, Lamar needs to be after all the guaranteed money he can get.
Well, the thing I don't understand, I've never understood, is Baltimore, you keep saying all of the right things. We're committed to Lamar. He's the future of the franchise, bloody, 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 blah. You do realize this gets more expensive by the day, right? Mm-hmm. Now, you kick this can down the road, and if your plan is to franchise him twice and then find the next step, okay.
But the market may be out of control by the time.
Oh, it will be out of control. You're going to have two $500 million contracts. Joe Burrow and Justin Herbert are going to get $500 million. So you think fully guaranteed Deshaun Watson puts you in a bad position? Give it about 6 more weeks and then see what position you're in.
I would love to know a number on this. They say they're $100 million apart. Is he looking for $200 guaranteed?
Yes.
Okay.
Everything I've heard is he wants $250 million, 5 years, 200 of it guaranteed, and Baltimore's willing to go about 100 guaranteed.
Mm-hmm. Wow. And I keep going back and forth. I don't know. I don't know if it's not worth it. This guy's only lost 16 games as your starter.
Michael Meadows had a great line. Baltimore has a Pro Bowl quarterback without Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
And he's $250 million cheaper.
Good luck with that.
I absolutely see no flaw in that logic until you realize that, okay, that means we'd have Tyler Huntley play.
Yeah, there are no lies. There are no lies being told there, but we all know what a farce that is.
I mean, Stephen Tao said he's also missed 16 games.
He has.
Which is a very valid point.
He has. He has not played a full season.
And he has a whole playoff victory.
And has missed 4 games each of the last 2 seasons.
Well, I mean, and that's the trade-off that you get. This is what I've said with Justin Fields. It's what I say with Lamar Jackson. The only one that I don't really have this problem with is Jalen Hurts because how big he is. And even he missed time. Mm-hmm. How many running backs, and I'm not trying to say Lamar Jackson's a running back or whatever the case may be. If you're going to carry the ball 15 times a game, don't be shocked when teams don't want to give you this big deal. And I'm afraid it's coming with Jalen Hurts too. Mm-hmm. The difference is that I think he knows his own limitations. You asked me this before the show, how much do I think Jalen will get? I think it gets done this offseason. It's probably $40 million a year. And that's a reward from Philadelphia of, are you a $40 million quarterback? Nope. Do we know that? Yep. But you've gotten us to very high heights. Mm-hmm. The thing I will also say is you do realize that this is the best offensive line in football. He has one of the best receiver tandems in the league, a great tight end, and just a room full of good to really good running backs.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I mean, if you're willing to put that around Tyler Huntley, if Tyler Huntley had that, yeah, he's probably a $25, $30, $35 million quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is that you can't keep that around them, and that's what Baltimore knows. They're looking at that roster right now going, we just hit a home run with Tyler Linderbaum. We hit a home run with Mark Andrews, who up until now has been a great value. We've had, 5 running backs that were good to, at times, great. J.K. Dobbins has been great at times.
Mm-hmm.
And that's been with Lamar at $10, $15 million. What do you think is going to be when it's 50?
Yeah.
The defense was killed injury-wise. And so now we have to pay you. Long-term, that's not a way to build a franchise because the cap can't keep up with how inflated this has gotten. Same thing I said about Miami. All right, so you give Tyreek Hill all that money. Well, now you got the question of Tua. Do you look at Miami and go, well, that's formidable going forward? No, they're the 7, 8, 9, somewhere in there.
Right.
Could you win a playoff game? Sure. At some point, you're going to come up against Pat Mahomes, who is elite, Joe Burrow, who is elite. And so having that elite quarterback makes it to where you can have deficiencies in the roster because I can just go score.
Yeah.
Pretty much it will.
I just keep looking.
I don't feel like Lamar Jackson can do that. I keep looking at, okay, so the last time I saw him, this offense could not score 17 points. And you're trying to tell me that you're one of those top 5, top 8 quarterbacks in this league. I don't see it. And I've never seen Baltimore pay somebody too long. I've seen them cut bait early.
Mm-hmm.
Never seen them do it where, oh, man, that contract looks awful.
$100 million apart in the guaranteed money. Could they possibly meet in the middle? If he's at 200, they're at 100, 150. Could be a fair.
Well, somebody's going to have to blink. And to me, they're both going to have to blink.
I would agree.
And I'm not sure if I'm Baltimore, I can wrap my head around that. I feel like Eric DaCosta and the Ravens organization has come with the offer of, we've talked about this for 2 full years. This goes back to Dak Prescott for me, of this is what we are comfortable doing. If you don't like it, then we will franchise you for a couple years, and we'll cross that bridge when we get there. If Dallas had it to do over again, would they give Dak Prescott that deal? Yes or no?
No.
There you go. And I swear to you, that's what I think Baltimore's looking at. They're going, all right, just being and I know this is going to sound weird when I say it, how much better is Lamar Jackson right now than Dak Prescott?
Fractionally.
No, I would say it's more than fractionally. But is he –
As a thrower of the football?
I mean, as a quarterback,
package?
period. I think he is a step above Dak Prescott. I also think he's a step behind.
Yeah, I can see that.
I think he's a step behind the Joe Burrows and the Pat Mahomes. And so where does that fall? See, that's the problem, is when you start getting into – it's not who's best. It's who's been paid most recently. And that's what a lot of players in this league, they can't wrap their head around. It's, well, I'm better than Dak Prescott. I have to make more money than him. Well, that deal's a disaster. I mean, you've completely throttled what the Dallas Cowboys can do, and that's what Dallas does. They're loyal to a fault. That's the reason that Ezekiel Elliott's still on this roster.
Right.
Baltimore's not that. And he wants to be a Raven for life. Okay, then you're going to have to make some concessions. And if you don't make those concessions, don't be shocked when you're not here.
Sliver in the YouTube comments says he's got Lamar top 7.
That's probably right. I mean, it's somewhere in that.
I would tend to agree.
It's somewhere. I mean, you could have him 7, 8, 9, 10, and I'm okay with any of them.
Mm-hmm. But that guy's worth money, right? I mean, that
no doubt he's worth
guy's
money.
Worth a great contract.
But is it $200 million guaranteed?
Yeah.
Is it if he lives hurt and he's hurt and he misses 4 games a year, and I've got to spend another $6 to $8 to $10 million on your backup? Now I'm not just paying you $45 million a year. Now I'm, in theory, paying you $55 million a year with an insurance policy. Okay, now that's the most expensive quarterback in the league.
Mm-hmm.
It's not worth it. It's not worth it.
The way they have built this offense around him, though, that's where I keep coming back to, is like they have tied them. They have married themselves to Lamar. It was necessary to do. But
have they, though? Have they, though?
You think they can just bring anybody in to run this scheme and it'll work?
How much, honestly, in terms of result, how much worse was Tyler Huntley? 8 points a game? If that defense is as good as you say it, and talent-wise, it's there. I evaluated every player on that defense. That is that's one of the 3 most talented defenses in the league. Okay, so I'm paying Tyler Huntley $10 million. Well, now I can put the $20 million receiver around him that I've never been able to get Lamar Jackson. Couldn't pay Marquise Brown.
It's a hell of a gamble.
It's a gamble, but what's really the gamble? You haven't gotten to the high side anyway. It's a gamble if Jalen Hurts is a gamble. If Philadelphia looks at this and goes, no, we don't want to pay him $45 million, he got you to a Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Am I saying it was the most difficult path? No. But he still did. In the pantheon of the NFL, we will still look at Jalen Hurts and go, he started in a Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Do I feel like it was more because of the talent around him? Yeah, but he was still the MVP candidate. You don't pay him, he goes somewhere else and goes to 2 Super Bowls? Okay, now everybody in the building is elemento fired. I just don't see Lamar Jackson doing that.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the part of this negotiation that I've never heard anybody else say. All right, so what are let's just for argument's sake, say they franchise Lamar and say, we will allow you to seek a trade. Who's going to call? Atlanta will call.
Mm-hmm.
The Jets won't. I just think about needy quarterback teams. He doesn't fit with Josh McDaniels. It's going to have to be an all-in commitment, and the only team I can find is Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
So if that's the only team in the league that would even call and be willing to match the offer, the asking price, what are you actually worth on the open market?
Atlanta, Tennessee might. As much as they love to run the ball.
I don't know. Maybe. All right, so that's 2.
Mm-hmm.
Who's 3? New Orleans? I don't.
Tampa. And they don't have the money.
No.
New Orleans, same thing.
Yeah. I feel like you get to this standoff of, all right, go seek a trade.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure that I wouldn't have at some point said that. All right, we're going to franchise you. Go out there and see how many teams are actively interested in you, because I promise you it's not going to be as many as you think.
Indianapolis. But they're going to get their quarterback in the
They're
draft.
going to draft one.
Yeah.
Every team that's in the top 10 of the draft has the shot to go get one if they get a young rookie quarterback that is cost control for 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
Which would you rather have?
Well, we know he's not getting Deshaun Watson money. Nobody's ever going to get that again. Because look at how that started.
Disagree aggressively.
You don't think so, or you think so? You think somebody's getting
Joe Burrow.
He's getting
Joe
fully
Burrow.
guaranteed?
If you told me it was $500 million and every cent of it was guaranteed, I wouldn't be shocked in the least.
Really?
Frankly, I'll be stunned if it's anything less than 75%. If it's less than $300 million guaranteed, you should fire your agent immediately, because you left a ton of money on the table, and that's being generous. Because he could walk in and say, I want $500 million. You will pay it. I know you'll pay it. The best 2 years you've had in the last 40 have been, or 30 have been with me. You will pay it. Lamar Jackson, we got to a Super Bowl with Trent Dilfer. We got to a Super Bowl with Joe Falco. The organization's intact. I've proven that I can do this without you. I've actually never proven that I can do it with you. To me, Baltimore has all the leverage.
You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Rain chances going up for Asheville late this week. Main chance for rain Thursday, midday, and afternoon. It is a mild forecast. Low tonight, 40 degrees. And temperatures well into the mid-60s for Wednesday and low 60s Thursday, with rain showers showing up Thursday, Friday. Turning colder into the weekend. Could see some flurries or light snows here Saturday night. I'm meteorologist Scott Laria-Moore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by First Restoration Services of Asheville.
First Restoration Services has been responding 24/7 to property damage from water, fire, and storm damage since 1987. If you have a disaster on your property, there's only one company to call first. First Restoration Services of Asheville, FRS247.com.
I'm Martin Hoke, the inventor of Navage Nasal Care, and I love Navage. I've told you about how your nose is the body's air filter, that Navage's powered suction will help flush out allergens, viruses, mucus, and germs, and that Navage will help you breathe better. But what do other people say about Navage? Like Josh, quote, "After walking around my whole life being a mouth breather, I was excited to try Navage. I read the directions carefully, pressed the button, and oh my gosh, what a sensation. So much mucus, so much crud, but oh sweet, merciful air, I can finally breathe you through my nose. Never have I ever taken such an amazing breath in my life. This is a life changer," unquote. He's one of over 100,000 online reviews praising Navage, the all-natural solution trusted by over 3 million people to help you breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and stay healthier without drugs. Navage is available at Walmart, CVS, Walgreens, Target, Rite Aid, and online. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E, clean nose, healthy life.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WBNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WBNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WBNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
Did you know that Ingles sells more organics than any other grocery store? Or that they run their own dairy? Or that they only serve USDA Choice and Prime meat? Or that they donate 3,956 meals a day to local food banks? Well, now you do. It's all in the bag.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at roguecombatclub.com.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
Boy, you must be outside your mind.
The Sportsocracy.
Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
The new survey is out from the American Gaming Association, and the Super Bowl handle this week is going to be astronomical. They are projecting. This is just
and it's an aggressive projection.
This is just a projection, but they are projecting that somewhere, somehow, some way, across America, there will be 50.4 million people placing some sort of wager on the Super Bowl, and it will be approximately $16 billion.
That's a lot.
This is a 61% increase from last year's survey, so last year's projection. Now, this includes everything. This includes legal sports books.
This is if you put $20 on it with a guy at work.
Right.
And they have ways of – they take a small sample size and they expound that out. I have always found these numbers to be just ridiculously inaccurate. I think it's probably on the low side.
Maybe.
I think it's – to tell me that – so 300 million plus people are going to watch this. A sixth of them is what you think have a wager on it.
Right.
That's cute.
Right. How many of them have, Squares games and all of that within their own Super Bowl parties and work pools and all of that? All of this is entailed into one. And they say 61% increase from last year. $16 billion will be wagered, whether legal or illegal, on the Super Bowl this year. And you know how much I hate people who have way too much money. Dumbest bet I think I've seen so far. Well, not dumbest. Not dumbest bet. I'm just saying there's a possibility that if I were to place this bet, it would 100% go wrong for me. The largest prop bet at Caesars Sportsbook has been it was wagered on Monday morning. Someone put $35,000 down on the no kickoff or punt being returned for a touchdown in the Super Bowl at odds of minus 1,400, which is you put $35,000 on the line to win $3,500.
Oh, it's less than that. That would be at minus 1,000. If it's minus 1,400, you're winning about 2,200 bills.
Said according to their calculation.
Their calculation is wrong.
So the bettor will win a net of $3,500. But if you're wrong.
If you're wrong, you just set $35,000 on fire.
Right. right.
Now, I would say that is a very safe bet, but then again, I've said that about other things that have gone awry.
That's a $32,000 swing. I'm not taking a swing like that.
No, that's called stupid money. That's called chasing a stupid win.
Absolutely. I wouldn't even somebody put like $8 down on the kickers to win MVP.
Yeah, that's dumb.
Like, why would you do that?
That's dumb.
I mean, I know it's $8, but why do you just want to set money on fire? Doesn't make sense to me.
I mean, I've thrown more than $8 out of a car window, so I don't really think
you, my friend, are a moron.
Not a stupid wager would be former NFL edge rusher Jared Allen. Maybe you remember him. He's a little bit of a crazy guy and mulleted man. He is also one step closer to making the Olympic team. I don't know if you knew this or not. Jared Allen is a curler.
Mm-hmm.
He's on a curling team with a guy named Jason Smith. Well, yesterday they beat 2018 Olympic gold medalist John Smith in the round robin U.S. Olympic qualifiers. They have a 70% chance of making it to the Olympics now.
That's awesome.
I want nothing more than to see Jared Allen, of which I want you to take what you already know of him and just go full Team America. That's exactly what he looks like at these things with the red, white, and blue bandana.
Of course.
Sweet mullet, still just blowing in the wind. He started doing this with Mark Bulger, former St. Louis Rams quarterback, and Keith Bullock. The only one left is Jared Allen. He's the only one on this team. The other two apparently still do it, but their teams didn't qualify for this. There is a reasonable chance that we're going to see Jared Allen in the Olympics.
So Jared has ditched the losers, and now he has worked his way up.
Well, they started on a team together, and then I'm cobbling this together from a series of stories. It appears that Jared Allen was the best of the three, and he was invited to a higher level team that has a better shot of getting to the Olympics. And so he went, okay, you guys have fun.
I have to imagine Jared would be the one to throw the stone, right?
That is the way it appears. Yes.
Right, he's not the sweeper.
No, he's the one that does the little.
You're right. Slides the stone to the middle. Curling. That's just one of those events that's like, oh, hot. It's 3 a.m. and we're watching curling.
I'd do it.
No, you wouldn't.
I'd totally do it.
How many times have you watched curling at the Winter Olympics?
Watch it? No,
yeah.
I would do it.
Oh,
I would actually do it.
Oh, okay. I get it.
Because that looks like a game that I can drink 17 domestic lights while playing.
Yes.
Well, there's a reason. You ever notice that I'm good at every game that you can do whilst consuming?
There's a reason.
Pool, darts, cornhole. That's not an accident.
There's a reason that Jared Allen's doing it, too.
Oh, no doubt.
Just so you know.
Oh, no doubt.
I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he's going at this like he went at his professional football career, and it's just Wheaties and protein shakes in the mornings. But I doubt it.
His quote is, "It's so different than what we're used to as football players." I think that's what kept me so intrigued. Like the short game in golf, it's a game of finesse. You have to think 2 shots ahead. That's all right. He also said it was much harder once he got into it than he would have ever imagined.
Oh, of course. You're in the Sportsocracy. It is ESPN Asheville. The offseason is upon us for, well, all but two teams. All but two teams in the NFL. And we let's continue here our offseason previews with the Las Vegas Raiders.
Yay!
This is a dumpster fire franchise. And it just keeps getting worse
from the top down. And it really is.
You would think you hit rock bottom when you had your head coach obviously had the troubles that he had, and I just, of course, you've had all the legal troubles with that team, but it seems like the more and more they go, the more and more Mark Davis just keeps making dumb decision after dumb decision to drive this thing further into the ground.
Well, you have a lot of guys that you have to try to get back in the building. Rock Ya-Sin that you traded for last year, he was pretty good. He was almost inarguably the best corner on the team.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Jacobs, who, I mean, he's a running back, so value will be relative. But if you allow him to hit the open market, you're not getting him back.
No.
Denzel Perryman, if you want to bring him back. And then it all comes down to Derek Carr, which is going to be a spent cost. You overplayed your hand, so you're going to get absolutely nothing for him. And then what do you do at 7? Because, I mean, this team's got a little bit of cap space. They're actually in the top 10 in the NFL. Once they move things around, make some numbers more palatable, I would say they're going to have somewhere in the neighborhood of about $40 million. How many people are lining up to take money from the Raiders right now?
Not many.
That's where I've been stuck with Aaron Rodgers. Everybody talks about him wanting to reunite with Devontae Adams. This is a guy that left you. This is a type A personality, and you're telling me he's going to leave something he's very comfortable with to reunite with a guy that basically walked away from you. That math don't math. And then I'm looking around at that roster going, that's not a Super Bowl roster. I don't care who your quarterback is.
No.
I don't care if you bring in Tom Brady at 27 years old. You're not winning a Super Bowl with what this team is right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't believe that Aaron Rodgers is signing up for that.
Yeah, I can't see Aaron Rodgers going to work for Josh McDaniels behind a Swiss cheese offensive line. Sure, he gets Devontae Adams, and maybe you've got the running game with Josh Jacobs to help you out. Maybe you can get the most out of Darren Waller, and who knows, maybe Hunter Renfrow even shows back up to do something. But
well, I mean, there's another thing that would scare me about that, too.
Why would you choose that over New York?
I can't find a reason to.
Exactly.
I mean, I don't say that because that makes me just sound like a homer. But you look at roster for roster, it's not even close.
No.
Coach for coach, I don't think it's all that close.
I mean, New York's offensive line, and great, but it's still, I would
say. It's
say,
better than the Raiders.
Healthy,
it's drastically better.
I was going to say leaps and bounds, but maybe if it's healthy, it'll be leaps and bounds better than the Raiders.
It's drastically better if healthy. The other thing that would scare me if I was Las Vegas is if you put Aaron Rodgers out there, I think it'd take about 9 minutes before he looked like Johnny Depp in Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Just with the full cigarette holder out of his mouth, driving a convertible down the interstate.
It's quite possible.
Nobody ever talks about that. I mean, I get the state tax difference, and that's slightly overrated. That used to be the most underrated thing about free agent negotiations, and now it's the first thing everybody mentions. All right, just use the NBA, for example. You ever notice the Dallas Mavericks can't sign anybody?
Mm-hmm.
They don't have any state tax either.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not the end-all, be-all. So maybe calm down on that being the driving factor. This is still a 39-year-old quarterback that wants to go out on his own terms with a chance to win a Super Bowl to shut that argument up forever.
And you don't have
the Raiders aren't that.
Yeah.
The Raiders aren't that. And the thing that scares me is you keep getting attached to Anthony Richardson. That's coming from somewhere. It's not just people making it up. It's come from too many different places. And that makes me wonder if Mark Davis is actually playing the long game. They've talked about trading Darren Waller for 2 straight years. That doesn't really feel like a team that's ready to go all in on Aaron Rodgers right now.
No.
You look around the division. It's not an all-in division.
No.
I could argue that you're the worst team in that division by a pretty drastic amount.
Yeah, Las Vegas is not the place to be if you want to try to win a Super Bowl.
So what would be your path? If you're Vegas, what's a winning offseason for you? Not so sure we're going to see this the same way.
God, your winning offseason. I honestly do not know because I don't know what you're going to do at quarterback.
All right, so
are you going to have to settle for Jarrett Stidham? Are you going to be in the market for Jimmy Garoppolo to come in and basically rebirth the Josh McDaniels offense in New England?
All right, so tell me where the logic in what I'm about to say falls apart.
Okay.
You have the 7th pick. You're not finishing better than 3rd in this division. I don't think, no matter what you do next year.
Agreed.
Pat Mahomes' deal swells every year.
Mm-hmm.
Justin Herbert's deal is about to swell.
Mm-hmm.
Russell Wilson, career-wise, has 1 foot in the grave and 1 foot on a banana peel. Why do you not just take Peter Skoronski at 7?
I have no idea.
You take Skoronski at 7. You add pieces that fit Josh McDaniels because you're committed to him.
Mm-hmm.
You're committed to him and Ziegler. You guys just show me what you can do. Add the pieces. I've got Max Crosby locked up long-term. Chandler Jones is not a long-term piece. I get it. We spent that last year. It is what it is. I've got a lot of pieces on this team that are right, but I got a lot of pieces that are not right. So I just go into next year, I know what I am. I've got 7 picks in this draft, 3 in the first 2 days. Go add 3 high-level starters. Be what you're going to be. You're going to be 4-13 or 5-12, and then go into next year and get a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you really look around the league, there's going to be a lot of quarterbacks in that class and not a lot of teams that need them. Because there's going to be 4 go in the top 10, and I don't see a way that they don't. All right, so that's 4 that you take completely out.
Mm-hmm.
Next year, you would be competing with Green Bay, Tampa Bay, who's probably still going to need a quarterback, New Orleans. None of those teams are as bad as you are. None of those teams are in divisions that are as competitive as yours.
Mm-hmm.
You could end up with a pick in the top 3. All 3 of the quarterbacks that I know are going to be in that class are higher graded than any quarterback in this class. So why are you trying to jump the line? With a project in Anthony Richardson, or even if it's Will Levis, who I really like. Do you really think you're going to be able to develop him in a year? Do you really think you're going to be competitive this year?
No.
Then stop trying to jump the line.
Mm-hmm.
Just put the time into the rebuild and stop needing instant gratification. This is a long game. If you're convinced that Josh McDaniels is the right guy, then give him the platitude of doing it his way. Go get the best player in the draft. At 7, that's going to be Peter Skoronski. There's no way around it unless you're taking Bijan Robinson, which I don't envision you're going to do, but maybe you could. And then just draft well. Put players on this roster and go find your quarterback in a year.
We thought this past
Somebody's going to do that.
Yeah.
And they're going to be in much better shape than the team that jumps out of line to take Anthony Richardson.
You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. Coming up next, Jeremy's Bangers of the Night in college and the NBA.
It's time to discover the convenience and time savings of contact-free pickup with Ingles Curbside. Just visit shop.ingles-markets.com or download the app. And your Ingles personal shopper gets to work with specialized training on how to select the freshest items for a pre-scheduled pickup. They'll even text you with updates. You pull up to a designated space and your personal shopper delivers your items right to your vehicle. Fresh, fast, and affordable. It's all in the bag. Ingles. Low prices. Love the savings.
When I finally drove the old car into the grave, I knew there was only one place I was going to go. Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville, home of the family plan. And yes, they treat you like family. I went in, told them what I was looking for, told them my budget, and in no time, I was signing the paperwork on my certified pre-owned vehicle. They have the area's largest selection on quality pre-owned vehicles and certified Nissans. They go through a 167-point inspection, so you know it's not going to let you down. They gave me the Carfax report, so I know the history of my vehicle. And the Fred Anderson family plan gives me things like oil changes and car washes and loaner cars if I have to have major work done on the car in the future. For me, buying a car has always been an intimidating thought. But the folks at Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville made it super easy. Don't be like me. Don't wait till the last minute to get a deal done. Go to AndersonNissan.com or stop by the showroom at 629 Brevard Road. And don't forget to mention we sent you from the Sportsocracy and get a $250 bonus on your trade-in at Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
Since man created roads, they've been looking for ways to get off-road and vehicles to take them there. That's where Outlaw Off-Road comes in. A premier off-road center for Jeeps, trucks, and SUVs with a complete lineup of off-road and overland services, including maintenance and repair to make your vehicle all that it can be. Check out their location right here in Western North Carolina at 85 Avery Creek Road. Call them today at 828-974-8480 or visit them on the web at theoutlawoffroad.com.
Progressive presents Adjusting to the Suburbs.
It never dawned on me how much walking I used to do until I bought a house in the suburbs. Like when I'd say, I'm going for coffee, of course I was walking, but now it's like 3 miles and no latte's worth that. I find myself inviting people on walks with me like it's a scheduled activity. This morning, my neighbor asked me what I'm doing, and I actually said, I'm going for a walk with Nancy.
Anyway, when you save with Progressive by bundling your home and auto, that's the easy part of adjusting to the suburbs. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company. Coverage provided and serviced by affiliates and third-party insurers.
Ray Magliozzi here for eBay Motors. Okay, easy now. You're teaching your kid how to parallel park. Ouch! Turns out he likes to do it by feel. Don't worry, eBay Motors has bumpers, taillights, trunk lids, license plate holders, 122 million parts. Pull up just a little bit. And headlights. They've got lots of headlights. Get the right parts at the right prices. eBay Motors. Let's ride.
Did you hear about Taco Bell's apology? Yeah, they apologized for going too far with their breakfast. Like the naked egg taco and chicken biscuit nachos? It was too much. All you need in the morning is tasty, simple food. Like the breakfast crunch wrap. Fluffy eggs, melty cheese, sausage, crispy hash browns, wrapped in a warm tortilla. Or, as some call it, a breakfast crunch thing. Grab one today, only at Taco Bell. At participating U.S. Taco Bell stores during breakfast hours only until 11 a.m. while supplies last. Contact local store for hours and participation, which vary.
Coffee still closes on. Get them the money. Then when you get the money, you get the power. That watch costs more than your car. Then when you get the power, then you get the woman.
I think my Miami minus 4.5 over Duke last night should count as 2 wins. The Canes jumped out to a 10-1 lead, and the game was legitimately never close. I'm going back to that well again tonight on the other side. This is Green on Green, brought to you by Ingles Markets. Low prices, love the savings. Those North Carolina Tar Heels are a 1-point favorite tonight at Wake Forest. Over-under is 154. Okay, so hear me out. I know they didn't make it happen for me against the Blue Devils on Saturday. But at some point, the veteran leadership of this Carolina team has to stand up and give me a statement win, or they're going to be on the wrong side of the bubble if they aren't careful. These are two of Ken Palm's top 35 offensive teams in the country, and I think this could easily be a shootout. The difference in these two is that I could see several players taking the reins for the Heels, and I'm not so sure Wake Forest has a solution for Armando Bacot. This is going to be a track meet, so I'm going over 154 and give me the Heels to cover the 1. The number 22 NC State Wolfpack's a 7.5-point dog at Virginia tonight. Virginia's coming off a bad loss to rival Virginia Tech, and I don't see them losing tonight. But giving 7.5 to a really good NC State team that has 2 legitimate all-ACC type players is just disrespectful. This is the first time that NC State's ranked, and their Tobacco Road rivals Carolina and Duke aren't since 1983. And I don't see them giving that up easily. State's been underrated by Vegas all year, and this is no different. This game will be slow, low scoring, and the Wolfpack have enough to keep it close. The Wahoos win, but give me NC State plus 7.5. And one in the NBA, first game since the trade that sent the great headache Kyrie Irving to Dallas. The Phoenix Suns are a 6-point favorite at Brooklyn, over under 225. No Kyrie Irving, no Kevin Durant, no Ben Simmons, and the Suns welcome back their own all-star in Devin Booker. There will obviously be some rust for Booker, who hadn't played since getting hurt early in the Suns' Christmas Day tilt with my Nuggets. But for me, that doesn't matter. The Brooklyn Nets are down to what looks like a G League roster, and I don't think Cam Thomas is going for 47 again tonight. Give me the Suns. I'll give the 6, and I'm going over 225 in what could be an absolute bloodbath. For more, follow us on all the social medias at The Sportsocracy. And as always, Green on Green is brought to you by Ingles Markets. Love the savings with Ingles. Love the winnings with me. Mull it out.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Rain chances going up for Asheville late this week. Main chance for rain Thursday, midday, and afternoon. It is a mild forecast. Low tonight, 40 degrees. And temperatures well into the mid-60s for Wednesday and low 60s Thursday, with rain showers showing up Thursday, Friday. Turning colder into the weekend. Could see some flurries or light snows here Saturday night. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
For more information about contests on the station, log on to ESPNAVL.com.
This report is sponsored by Pfizer. When temperatures drop, COVID-19 cases may rise. So if you test positive and are at high risk, act fast. Even if your symptoms feel mild, ask your provider if an authorized oral treatment could be right for you. Visit treatcovid19.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Research shows listeners prefer a personalized experience. So to help you remember, Liberty Mutual customizes your home insurance. We personalized this ad for Amber, who really misses boy bands from the 90s.
Hey girl, I'm the cute one, here to tell you how Liberty Mutual customizes your home insurance so you only pay for what you need.
I'm the heartthrob. The only thing I love more than you is saving. And I'm the other boy in the band everyone forgot about.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Progressive Commercial Insurance flexes to fit your business needs, from quick repairs to adjustable coverages and even payment options. Progressive Commercial makes it easy to get what you need. Quote today in as little as 6 minutes at progressivecommercial.com.
I think it's just vapor. Vaping is safer than smoking, isn't it?
One vape pod has as much nicotine as one pack of cigarettes. Get your head out of the cloud. Talk to your kid about vaping. Visit talkaboutvaping.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
I'm Christine Lisi with what you need to know. Sources tell ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski the Nets and Kevin Durant are having ongoing conversations about the direction of the franchise in the aftermath of the Kyrie Irving trade to the Mavericks. So far, the Nets have told inquiring teams they are not planning on trading Durant before Thursday's trade deadline. LeBron James' pursuit of NBA history continues tonight when he and the Lakers host the Thunder. James is 36 points away from passing Kareem Abdul-Jabbar for the all-time scoring record. Lakers point guard Dennis Schroeder telling ESPN Radio, "It's been a privilege to watch this chase up close."
It's history, to be a part of it. I'm very honored and very proud that I'm here. He's an incredible person, incredible individual who works hard, and embraces every moment. So to be with him here every step of the way is great.
LA point guard Dennis Schroeder. You can hear more tonight on LeBron and the Lakers Thunder matchup on the NBA on ESPN Radio, 9:30 Eastern. ESPN's Adam Schefter reports the 49ers hiring former Panthers interim coach Steve Wilks as their new defensive coordinator.
Coming up Wednesday, Super Bowl 57 is on the horizon. What are the biggest storylines you should be paying attention to? I'll tell you. Wednesday, Keyshawn, J. Willem X, 6 a.m. Eastern, ESPN Radio, ESPN2, ESPNU.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website, Greene. That's Greene. Enter it now.
Log on now to ESPNAVL.com. And good luck from ESPN Asheville.
He's a degenerate gambler.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
And he's cheaper than oxygen.
He's useless.
But somehow, they make it work. Jeremy Greene, Tank Spencer. There's no holding back in the Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets and Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
And welcome back into the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville, Hour 2 of Super Tuesday, Super Bowl week. Philadelphia Eagles, Kansas City Chiefs. We are but a mere 122 hours away. They've got the clock ticking on ESPN.
Please tell me you saw that somewhere and didn't do the math.
Yeah, they've got the clock ticking on ESPN. Like 122 hours to go. Okay, it's a little aggressive.
I think until that number's in double digits, probably aggressive to have a countdown.
You want to have some fun on Super Bowl Sunday? You want to join us down at the Village Porch, 41 North Merriman Avenue. That's where we like to hang out on football Sundays. And, of course, the big one, going to be no different. There will be drink specials. Jeremy will be behind the bar for about 10 minutes until he gets tired of that.
Hey, what are you, a cop? Okay.
Drink specials, food specials, all those kinds of things. Obviously down at the Village Porch. So come on by and join us. We'll be hanging out there all afternoon and evening on Super Sunday at the Village Porch. And, of course, this is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM and 1400. You can hear the Sportsocracy everywhere on the iHeartRadio app and see us everywhere in the Ingles Studio on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link, subscribe to the channel so you can join us in the chat. We are going to be breaking down the game here for the next hour, and we're focusing on the Eagles' offense against the Chiefs' defense.
And before we do that, we don't necessarily do trivia around here, but I heard a little trivia fact.
Nugget. Yeah.
Nugget, whatever you want to call it. 15 college teams have won multiple basketball championships. Of those 15, only 2 have won multiple in football as well. Mm-hmm. First one to get it right in the YouTube chat, we'll give you a little shout out.
Okay. All right. So teams that have won multiple championships in basketball also have won multiple in football.
Yes, and I will give you a hint. One of them is very easy. One of them is not at all.
Yeah, one of them pretty easy because both
all of the titles have happened in my lifetime.
Yeah, both multiples in football and basketball have happened in the last 20 years?
Yes.
25 years?
25-ish.
Somewhere in there. I got the one, but I still have not gotten the other one. So
we'll let you know when somebody gets it.
Yeah, fire it away in the comments, and extra points for the winner of the contest here. Yes, we've already got one. The Gators, Florida Gators.
Now who's the other?
It's not Florida State. Florida State's never
Florida
won
State.
a basketball tournament.
We made it to a Final Four and got robbed in the COVID year. So Florida State should have won, but
you made it to the Final Four.
Oh yeah, it was in 1974.
Oh. I thought you were saying you made it to the Final Four in the COVID year, and I went, no, you didn't.
No, we won the national title that year.
Oh yeah,
yeah, we were no doubt. We were going to win the national title, so we just gave it to ourselves.
So says the Florida State lawmakers. Yeah.
Prove us wrong.
Jalen Hurts. Obviously, he's the highlight of the Philadelphia Eagles offense. The most important piece is always the quarterback. Can the Philadelphia Eagles in their run-heavy scheme get the better of the Kansas City Chiefs defense? Jeremy, you have just been down this road of this is going to be a bloodletting. Kansas City's just going to blow the doors off the Philadelphia Eagles, and frankly, I think that's misguided on your part.
I don't.
I know you don't. But
Kansas City's way better against the run than people think.
Okay.
They finished 8th in the NFL against the run. And I feel like that's the way that Philadelphia can beat you. I've seen Steve Spagnuolo do this before.
Mm-hmm.
Of, I'm going to make you beat me the way that you don't want to. And if Philadelphia can't run, I don't see how they're going to win this game.
So what are they going to do? Is Steve Spagnuolo going to try to stack the box? Because it's not something that this Kansas City Chiefs defense does.
No. They're not a – I don't think they have to. I really don't. I mean, nobody has run on them in a way that is how they got beat all year. And I don't think Philadelphia's doing it either. That's been my drawback on Jalen Hurts the entire time, and I feel like this is the perfect storm of, A.J. Brown's going to have a good to great matchup the entire game. He could also be double covered the entire game.
Mm-hmm.
And I do believe there is a path that Steve Spagnuolo draws this up and just goes, you know what? I'm going to take away one of you. Whether it's A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, whichever one he thinks he has a better shot at. I would say it's Devontae Smith. Or L'Jarius Sneed, get in his face, press him, because that was always the big drawback is he is very thin.
Mm-hmm.
So if you get in his face, you press him, and now all I have to worry about is A.J. Brown and Dallas Goedert, and there are ways for me to mitigate that.
All I have to do. That's all I have to do. Is worry about A.J. Brown. So that's the one I can't get. Like, to me, it should be L'Jarius on A.J. Brown. That's one-on-one. You're number one against their number one.
But are you going to stop him that way?
I don't think you're going to stop him anyway.
That's the point. That's the whole point.
Just let him do. Just let him do what he's
going to do. It's not let him do what he wants. I'm going to double cover him. I feel like I can take Devontae Smith completely out of this game with L'Jarius Sneed because I think I can press him repeatedly. And I don't necessarily think you're going to beat me before I can get home.
Mm-hmm.
You got to understand how multiple this front for Kansas City is. I'm not telling you it's a great defense because statistically it's not.
No, it's not.
But you better be able to score because they're going to. Mm-hmm. They've scored on everybody they played all year.
Absolutely.
And this misnomer that Philadelphia is this great lockdown juggernaut of a defense. Okay.
I mean, they are pretty good.
I watched Washington just march up and down the field on them. Well, but we added Ndamukong Suh. Okay. We were so much better against the run in the second half of the year. Yeah, because 6 of the 9 teams you played don't run well.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, awesome. You did a great job of stymieing teams that don't run. Okay. I have Pat Mahomes.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like The underrated part of this, I mean, because we said the entire lead up into this, that the reason that I was not in on Kansas City the way I was Buffalo and Cincinnati is because they didn't have a defense like that. Well, the more I've looked at it, they do at times. It's not consistent. It's not a shutdown defense. But they can make you one-dimensional. And Philadelphia one-dimensional with Jalen Hurts is not beating Pat Mahomes.
Mm-hmm.
And as I've gone down the list of props, that's usually how I make Super Bowl wagers, is I start looking at, okay, what is Vegas doing that doesn't make any sense? A.J. Brown's prop on yards, what is it?
75.5.
You're too high.
Wrong.
Does that not sound dumb?
Yes. Wrong.
You do realize every time we say that, we're wrong. Every time we say, oh, it's so stupid. How could Vegas be so stupid? We're wrong. Every time. So that means
He's
Vegas
never
thinks
beaten the prop.
I'm not going to say never, but Vegas is batting a really high percentage.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they're telling you how they think this is going to go. And it all, for me, ties back to Jalen Hurts.
Okay. To me, it all ties back to the offensive line. If the offensive line for the Philadelphia Eagles can control the narrative, then they're going to be able to, I don't want to say do whatever they want to do, but they're going to be able to move the ball on the ground. Right? They'll be able to hit big shots down the field. I could see Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown getting behind that secondary. The secondary's been the weakest part of the Kansas City defense. Now, I get that when L'Jarius Sneed went out in the AFC Championship game, that Joshua Williams came in and played really well. I don't know if I'm going to hinge my success on 3 rookies in my secondary. They're good, but I just don't know that I'm counting on them to be able to shut down the passing game.
Name me the time, I'll wait, in 3 years that Jalen Hurts has ever been passing the ball the reason that you've seen them win a game. I'm not worried about Miles Sanders. I'm not. I have no fear. But the offensive line, you're underestimating the front 4 of Kansas City, and you're underestimating that Steve Spagnuolo has made a career of this.
Mm-hmm.
This is the same guy that beat Tom Brady twice in Super Bowls. And you know how he did it? You're not going to beat me the way you want to. And that's abundantly clear. The path for Philadelphia is that you have to stay on script. Do not get behind the chains, because you get behind the chains, that tells them what you're doing, and they can send hellhounds at you, and they have a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of pass rushers on this team that can come from a lot of different directions. They love blitzing off the slot. And to me, that mitigates some of that offensive line advantage.
Mm-hmm.
Because the drawback on Jalen Hurts has been for a long time, he likes to hold on to the ball.
Yeah. If we get out and if we can spread out that offensive line, I mean, I fully see they do that, what do they call it, the wide nine. The wide 9, where you've got the defensive tackles and the edge rushers that are way outside where the ball is. And so you collapse that pocket, and it's going to force Jalen Hurts to step up in the pocket. See, that's the thing. They want to do that to try to contain him in the pocket, and Jalen's going to have to step up and make throws or run it right up the middle.
And say, I don't see that happening. I don't. Vegas doesn't. I have thought since this matchup was, and I kept relatively quiet about it. I made a little snide remarks here and there.
Mm-hmm.
The more I've broken this down, 65% of the money, I believe, is on Philadelphia as of the last that I looked. It's 60. So it's 60-60. Okay. Basically, the money is heavy on Philadelphia. The tickets are heavy on Philadelphia. And the number hasn't moved. That's always weird to me. When I see Vegas do that, it tells me one thing. They're not scared.
Mm-hmm.
They're not scared at their liability. They're not moving the number. This is the most wagered game of the year by 10 times. And Vegas does not seem to have any fear at the open door that Philadelphia has walked through. And the more I've gone down this rabbit hole, the more I keep coming back to one thing. I know Patrick Mahomes is going to be able to score at will.
Mm-hmm.
But how good that defense is. Okay, I want you to remember that I said this. Darius Slay is about to get exposed. Now, that's not the side of the ball that we're talking about right now. We'll get to that tomorrow. Tell me what matchup it is that you think Jalen Hurts can expose.
Oh, I would say A.J. Brown on L'Jarius Sneed.
And how's he going to do it? Throwing these cute little screen passes that he beat the Bears with?
Oh, no, they'll be taking deep shots.
Okay, to take deep shots. And this is a problem that I think both teams have. And I knew you were going to say it that way. That's how Philadelphia's beaten you all year. They've stayed on schedule with the running game. Throw in some play action, throw some exotic looks at you, and they hit a big play every now and then in the passing game. If Kansas City can keep you from doing that, now you start having to get into the dink and dunk thing. That's what Kansas City does by profession.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And it is not beneficial to Philadelphia. I don't buy it. I haven't bought it the entire lead up to this game. And I'm going to tell you something. What is Jalen Hurts' passer rating in a clean pocket?
Oh, I don't know.
This is passer rating, not QBR.
I don't know, 78.
111.
Okay.
What is it in what is it under pressure?
78.
65.
Okay.
I promise you I'm not the only one that knows that. There are some teams that do not have the ability to send pressure to this team because that line's so good.
Mm-hmm.
And so we can't hold up in the backside. Spagnuolo is – I can't tell you he created this, but I've heard it a lot with teams of his over the years. Bend, don't break. I'll trade my touchdowns for your field goals all day long.
Mm-hmm.
And if you do that 2 or 3 times, you're in a really bad way, and now it's all on Jalen Hurts. There is no game script that, to me, puts Kansas City in a bad position. If that running game's not working, or Nick Sirianni does that thing that he loves to do, which is, I forgot Miles Sanders is on this team, or I give it to Boston Scott and he coughs one up, you're in trouble. Because they're going to score, and they're going to score often. And I just don't see it with Philadelphia.
Yeah, I do believe that this game is going to be won in the trenches. That offensive line is amazing. And there's only one guy that I'm really scared of on the Chiefs side. We'll continue the discussion up next here on ESPN Asheville.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Light delays 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. In North Asheville, Merriman Avenue northbound approaching Edgewood Road is slow. Smoky Park Highway northbound approaching Sand Hill Road is slowing. Near Avery Creek, Bavard Road north and southbound near Long Shoals Road is slow. Sweeten Creek Road southbound slow between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Mills Gap Road. Light delays Hendersonville Road southbound between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Overlook Road. I'm Lyndon Fuel with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. The new Crispy Melt Taco is now at Taco Bell. It's a freshly fried shell with a melty cheese blend and your choice of seasoned beef or black beans inside. Try it today at participating Taco Bell locations for a limited time only, while supplies last. Contact local stores for prices, hours, and participation which vary. Tax extra.
Nothing says I love you like a clean home. This Valentine's Day, call the cleaning pros at Zero Res. Right now, mention ESPN Asheville, and you get 3 rooms of carpet cleaned for $119. Plus a free hallway. Book online at ZeroResAsheville.com.
Research shows listeners prefer a personalized experience. So to help you remember Liberty Mutual customizes your home insurance, we personalized this ad for Amber, who really misses boy bands from the 90s.
Hey girl, I'm the cute one, here to tell you how Liberty Mutual customizes your home insurance so you only pay for what you need.
I'm the heartthrob. The only thing I love more than you is saving. And I'm the other boy in the band everyone forgot about.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Did you hear about Taco Bell's apology? Yeah, they apologized for going too far with their breakfast. Like the naked egg taco and chicken biscuit nachos? It was too much. All you need in the morning is tasty, simple food. Like the breakfast crunch wrap. Fluffy eggs, melty cheese, sausage, crispy hash browns, wrapped in a warm tortilla. Or, as some call it, a breakfast crunch thing. Grab one today, only at Taco Bell. At participating U.S. Taco Bell stores during breakfast hours only until 11 a.m. while supplies last. Contact local store for hours and participation, which vary.
Make 2023 the year that you change your life and you win that battle with your weight problem. It can happen for you. I mean, I've said this time and time again in my life. I'm going to do better this year. I'm going to lose the weight. 2022, that was the year for me. The PhD weight loss program helped me lose more than 90 pounds last year. PhD's the way to go.
Many people in the new year say, new year, new me. The only problem is that they use a lot of the same tendencies, which leads to new year, same you. Sometimes you need a little help, and that's what PhD gives you. They give you plenty of the food. They give you all the direction, all the guidance. If it works for a guy like me that was as lazy with my food choices as I was, it will work for you. PhD weight loss.
I lived all of my adult life around the 300-pound mark, and now I'm down around 200 pounds, and I feel infinitely better, as you can imagine. Go to myphdweightloss.com today. It's myphdweightloss.com.
Everyone's heard about the housing market and this being the best time to sell a house in years. But the same thing applies to cars. Whether you're looking to buy a car, trade in, or sell that car in the driveway collecting dust, Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville wants to buy your car. They have 2 on-site managers that work with Kelly Blue Book to give you top dollar for your vehicle. You can even have your car appraised instantly at AndersonNissan.com. Stop in and visit them today at 629 Brevard Road in Asheville or call them at 828-365-1663.
We are back in the Ingles studio on ESPN Asheville. This is the Sportsocracy. The Eagles offense going up against the Kansas City Chiefs defense. That's the matchup that we're focusing on today for Super Bowl 57. Coming up this Sunday. Don't forget to join us out at the Village Porch in North Asheville. North Merriman Avenue, 41 North Merriman Avenue will be at the Village Porch all afternoon and evening for Super Bowl 57. Now, the offensive line of the Philadelphia Eagles is the best in the league.
I'm not going to disagree with you, but I do feel like you're really sliding the offensive line on, I don't know, the other side of this game, which
they're
is
very good.
equivalent.
They're very good, and we will get into that tomorrow when we do the Chiefs offense against the Philadelphia Eagles defense. But right now, I feel like in this scenario, you have Philly has the advantage. That is a star-studded offensive line. I'm not trying to sell Kansas City short. I know that they're what, like second in sacks this year. They're like fourth in overall pressures. They will be able to dial up with the wide 9 to be able to kind of create some confusion. But you have one guy, obviously, that's the key. Chris Jones. I have to know on every play where Chris Jones is going to be.
Who statistically was the best defensive lineman in the NFL.
Are they going to try to spread them out as much as possible? Or will they put him one-on-one sometimes in the middle with Landon Dickerson, who's dealing with an elbow issue? He's got the hyperextended elbow. He's going to have to be wearing a brace on it. I don't know. I can't answer that question for you. I'm sure there'll be a mixture of all of it.
Oh, no doubt.
There will be
and I'm going to test him early, and I'm going to test him often.
Yes. Well, I mean, with the hampered elbow, I mean, all I got to do is line him up off center, do that wide 9 thing, and make Landon Dickerson chase him down.
And you got Lane Johnson that's not 100% either.
True, and he's older than Methuselah. I get it, but he's
He's that old. He's not even the oldest player on his line.
He's like 38.
No.
Is he not?
No.
I thought
like
he was
30. I think Lane Johnson's 32, 33.
Really? I thought he was much older than that.
No.
Anyway.
32.
32?
I knew he was younger than me. I just didn't know by how much.
God, I thought he was ancient for some reason.
No.
Anyway. So, are they going to test him? Yes, they will test him. Lane Johnson, pretty good. So I feel confident about that. I'm going to have Frank Clark on my Lotta most of the game, which I feel like, I mean, will he get loose? Maybe once or twice, but for the most part, I feel like my Lotta is going to take care of business.
Well, I mean, you just have a lot of you got a lot of pieces. You got a lot of pieces on this D-line from Chris Jones, Carlos Dunlop, Karl Loftus, Frank Clark. You're going to throw a lot of things at them, and I'm not going to be shocked. You do remember that Spagnuolo is the original creator of the old NASCAR package that I've been a huge fan of.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to be shocked if you see that again. You've seen it in very small bursts from Kansas City this year. I won't be shocked if you see it a lot. I'm going to put four pass rushers on the field. My hope is that Willie Gay is going to play in this game. I can genuinely say I don't know. That's one of the only players that I don't know. And I don't think this is as big of an advantage as people think. And it's not because because the line's phenomenal. It is the most talented in the league. These are the two best offensive lines in the league.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is, I'm going to make you do what I want you to. You're not going to run at me. Nobody has really done it all year long. That's one of the underrated parts of Kansas City.
I mean, but haven't they, though? I mean, teams that run have run on them. Tennessee ran on them.
How'd that go?
Josh Jacobs had a hell of a day against them.
And how'd that go? Because eventually, okay, so if I remember correctly, I think Josh Jacobs had a huge first half.
Okay.
And then you fall behind. That's another part of this.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you want to run? More power to you. Enjoy doing it in the first quarter. I'm going to keep you out of the end zone. And when when you're trading field goals for touchdowns and you get behind and now it's on Jalen Hurts, I have no fear of you. None. If you're telling me he has to drop it, I'll be legit with you. The number one stat I am most curious of, how many attempts does Jalen Hurts have in this game?
Passing attempts?
Mm-hmm.
I would say it's somewhere in the neighborhood of 22, 25.
No shot. Absolutely not a snowball's chance in Atlanta. If that's the case, they win. It ain't going to happen. You're going up against the most prodigious quarterback in this league.
Mm-hmm.
Not close. They want to make this a track meet. That's their objective because you can't beat me that way. I am better in every facet of a track meet than you are. And so I would say it probably falls in closer to 35. And for me, anything over 30, Kansas City wins.
Mm-hmm.
And the higher you get away from 30, the more aggressively they win. You tell me this gets into the high 30s or even to the 40s, it's scattered, smothered, covered, diced, and chunked.
I just don't know. I just don't think that's how that's going to go down. I don't think Kansas City is going to be able to score at will.
I do.
Against Philadelphia.
I've said this. I'm going to continue to say it. Just remember I said Darius Slay might be the most overrated player in the league right now.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to go at him continuously. Put him out there one-on-one. More power to you.
Yeah.
Because Bradbury is going to spend some time on Travis Kelce. You mark my words. That is one of their thoughts going into this game.
Mm-hmm.
And if you start watching that scoreboard climb with Kansas City, you can't stick to the game plan of run, pass. No. That's been my issue with Philadelphia all year long, is that you win one way. Now, you've been very good at not allowing teams to get in front of you. But I've already seen it once. I saw what happened the one time a team did get in front of you, and you looked awful. And they weren't even in the stratosphere of what you're going up against.
You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. Who are the X factors in this matchup? Eagles offense versus the Kansas City defense. We'll continue that up next. First, well, let's get weird.
On the weird scale, there's Vegas, there's Florida, and there's Asheville. Let's get weird, Asheville.
There's one Philadelphia bar that was planning to have a huge soiree this weekend for the big game. The problem is they didn't plan it out very well. And now, instead of having their Super Bowl party or, just being open for business, they went, we can't. We're not doing it. They went from planning a Super Bowl party to just closing the bar on Sunday.
That does not feel like a great business decision.
The name of the place is Big Charlie's Saloon. Big Charlie Saloon is important in the Philadelphia area, well, especially for this game, because it is the only Kansas City Chiefs backers bar in Philadelphia.
Now I see the problem.
So the word went out that we're going to have the official Philadelphia Kansas City Chiefs watch party here at Big Charlie's Saloon.
Oh, yeah. The crimes were probably being planned.
So they started pushing it out there to their people. The problem is they just kind of went with, hey, so we're going to charge $25. It's going to be cover. That'll include your food, or some food at least for watching the game, and we're not going to have tickets. You just kind of have to give us a written promise, basically, that you're going to appear. Well, because they didn't sell any tickets, and as the word continued to spread around Philadelphia, they did a head count, and they realized that they got about 170 people in a bar that only holds 138. Oh, and by the way, the word really hadn't spread out to their regulars, and so many of the regulars that showed up every Sunday to watch the Kansas City Chiefs at Big Dave's Saloon or Big Charlie's Saloon, now they got a problem. And then they thought, well, there's also going to be a problem because if Philadelphia wins this game, then we're going to be right in the middle of downtown Philadelphia with a whole bunch of Chiefs fans leaving. Don't think that's going to be good. And it'll probably be worse if Kansas City wins the game because there's still going to be riots on the streets of Philadelphia. It doesn't matter. You know there's going to be extracurricular activities. So instead of having anything on Super Bowl Sunday, Big Charlie's Saloon decided safety reasons, we're just going to be closed.
Yeah, that's not that doesn't really encourage me about your business model.
Youch.
We have a weird problem happening around nursing homes right now. It's happened twice in the last 3 weeks. An 82-year-old woman was pronounced dead at a New York nursing home and was taken to the funeral home where the arrangements were going to be done.
Okay.
3 hours later, they discovered she wasn't dead.
Mm-hmm.
She's still alive.
That is a problem.
Yeah, and she's still alive right now. But for how do you do that? I mean, I get, we didn't fill a poll, something like that. Well, maybe check. Maybe check. So they take her to the funeral home. She sits in the prep room for 3 hours. The person that was doing her makeup comes in and realized that her eyes were blinking. And she went, nope, no, this is not good.
No.
So she was taken to the hospital where they discovered that, yes, she is indeed still alive.
Wow.
And she's still alive right now. This would be it would be unsettling regardless.
Yeah.
Except for the same thing just happened in Iowa 3 weeks ago. Do you know what happens if a nursing home or anything like that sends someone to a funeral home or to a morgue and says they are deceased and they're not?
I would imagine that's crimes.
It's a $10,000 fine.
Yeah.
The first time you do it.
Mm-hmm.
The second time you do it, it's $100,000, and the third time they do it, they revoke your license.
Well, I mean, I feel like if you're going to send somebody to be embalmed, you need to be sure, like absolutely, positively sure
that
this person is gone.
In Iowa, it was a 66-year-old woman who was at the Glen Oaks Alzheimer's Special Care Center in Urbandale. They discovered that she was still alive. They sent her to the hospital, and unfortunately, she passed away 2 days later.
Mm-hmm.
Just, okay, check and make sure. This is not one of those check. That's a big deal, okay?
It is.
Maybe get a machine. Maybe check with a utensil or an instrument. I'm not a doctor.
Right. Like, look, it is hard to tell when elderly people reach that stage. I've been in that scenario before. I've sadly watching my grandmother pass away. She's, toiled away and just faded, basically, over days and days and weeks and weeks and weeks. I had to chase the nurse down the hallway to say, I don't think she's breathing. Please come check. I can't tell. I would expect that from me. from a lay person.
You're not a professional.
Right. The nurse needs to be able to figure that out. And I would think that more than that's like a double check thing.
Absolutely.
Like Tina down, Nurse Tina, she checked and she's dead. Well, let's go ask Deborah. Let's get Deborah's second opinion. And God forbid, is there a doctor? Is there an actual licensed doctor who can come in here and, maybe triple check and make sure that this doesn't happen? I'm glad to know that the fine is that large, though.
According to Mark Bradley in our YouTube comments, apparently there are other things you can get fined for that are even more substantial. I don't think I want to know what that is.
Don't want to know. You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Rain chances going up for Asheville late this week. Main chance for rain Thursday, midday, and afternoon. It is a mild forecast, low tonight 40 degrees, and temperatures well into the mid-60s for Wednesday and low 60s Thursday, with rain showers showing up Thursday, Friday. Turning colder into the weekend. Could see some flurries or light snows here Saturday night. I'm meteorologist Scott Lariamore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Driving slow 26 westbound between Long Shoals Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 26 on the eastbound side, very busy near the French Broad River. Hendersonville Road northbound crawling between Long Shoals Road and Overlook Road. Hendersonville Road southbound crawling between Biltmore Forest and Overlook Road. Sweeten Creek Road southbound stop and go between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Mills Gap Road. Smoky Park Highway, no problems. Patton Avenue moving well. I'm Lynn Benfield with your time saver traffic.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. The new Crispy Melt Taco is now at Taco Bell. It's a freshly fried shell with a melty cheese blend and your choice of seasoned beef or black beans inside. Try it today at participating Taco Bell locations for a limited time only, while supplies last. Contact local stores for prices, hours, and participation which vary. Tax extra.
I'm Martin Hoke, the inventor of Navage Nasal Care, and I love Navage. I've told you about how your nose is the body's air filter, that Navage's powered suction will help flush out allergens, viruses, mucus, and germs, and that Navage will help you breathe better. But what do other people say about Navage? Like Tara, quote, "My doctor wanted me to do saline rinses for my allergies, but I've never been able to successfully use a neti pot. Navage uses suction power, so it's foolproof. There are nights when I'll have particularly bothersome allergies. I'll bust it out, and the results are immediate. It's such a relief. It's become a lifesaver." Unquote. She's one of over 100,000 online reviews praising Navage, the all-natural solution trusted by over 3 million people to help you breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and stay healthier without drugs. Navage is available at Walmart, CVS, Walgreens, Target, Rite Aid, and online. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E, clean nose, healthy life.
No one has the same taste as you.
You damn right.
From the music you love to the podcasts you can't live without. And only the iHeartRadio app has it all for free. Download the free iHeartRadio app for all your music, radio, and podcasts.
The Ingles 2023 Southern Conference Downtown Dribble and Kids Fest, presented by Champion Credit Union, will be held Saturday, March 4th, 9:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. at the Roger McGuire Greene at Peck Square Park. The Downtown Dribble will feature interactive games, inflatables, pep bands, cheerleaders, and parade. Each participant will receive a basketball, Downtown Dribble t-shirt, and a ticket to the noon session quarterfinal basketball games. Check-in will begin at 9:30 a.m. at Roger McGuire Greene. To register, visit downtowndribble.eventbrite.com.
Since man created roads, they've been looking for ways to get off-road and vehicles to take them there. That's where Outlaw Off-Road comes in. A premier off-road center for Jeeps, trucks, and SUVs with a complete lineup of off-road and overland services, including maintenance and repair to make your vehicle all that it can be. Check out their location right here in western North Carolina at 85 Avery Creek Road. Call them today at 828-974-8480 or visit them on the web at theoutlawoffroad.com.
Tired of getting dinged by monthly fees on your checking account? You need Simple Checking from Home Trust Bank. With Simple Checking, you get all the essential checking services for free, including 100% online access and a free Visa debit card. It's everything you need from a checking account, but no hoops, no surprises, no monthly fees. Stop by today or call 800-627-1632. Simple Checking at Home Trust. Ready for what's next. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
The Sportsocracy.
That is some good, clean family fun there, eh, Cot?
Back in the Sportsocracy and the trivia question follow-up. So, Jeremy, your trivia question was?
There are 15 teams in college basketball history that have won multiple national championships. Only 2 of those schools have won multiple titles in football. Who are they? We told you Florida was one of them. That was the easy one.
Yes.
All 5 of theirs between football and basketball happened from 1996 to 2016.
Mm-hmm.
The other is Michigan State, and Andrew Smith was the first one to get it right.
Good for Andrew. Congratulations. Man, I was trying to think, like, when did Michigan State win multiple basketball championships? I remember the one in 2000 because they beat the Tar Heels in the Final Four, and then I think ended up beating Florida with the Mateen Cleaves team.
Yes.
I remember that.
That was the one with Tom Izzo.
Yeah. I had completely forgotten about the Magic run in 1979.
That would be the easiest one.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's the one you should remember. You should totally remember Magic Johnson more than you remember Mateen Cleaves.
One would think. And their 2 titles in football came in 1959.
A billion years
1965.
ago. Yes. A billion years ago. Kirk Gibson, did he play on one of those teams?
The baseball player?
Yeah. Did you not know he was a football player at Michigan State?
I did not.
Yeah. It was a little before his time, I think, the national championship runs there. But anyhow.
Yeah, Los Angeles Dodger trivia is not something that I'm really up to date on.
The only reason I remember that is because I ended up with like a grab bag when I went to a card shop when I was a kid, and they had Michigan State cards inside, in the grab bag pack, like the Tar Heels have. You've seen those. You've grown up around this area, the old Coca-Cola Tar Heels cards. They had Michigan State ones, and it had Kirk Gibson in the uniform. I was like, oh, interesting.
Yeah, if you want me to be up to date on your trivia, your finals should probably outrate the Pro Bowl.
Right.
6 million people watched that dog water event.
Which is, it sounds gross to say.
That's the baseline. 6 million people will watch anything with a football in it.
Yes.
And 2 of those people are talking into these here microphones.
Today in our run-up to Super Bowl 57, Kansas City Chiefs and the Philadelphia Eagles, we're focusing on the Eagles' offense against the Kansas City Chiefs' defense. Now, I want to talk X factors here for this game because we talked about Devontae Smith. We talked about Jalen Hurts, obviously. There's one player for the Philadelphia Eagles, though, that I feel like...
Are you about to say... If you say Quez Watkins, I swear...
No. It's Dallas Goedert. The Chiefs' defense, I'm not going to say they're historically weak or anything, but they could be taken advantage of in the middle of the field. And, okay, so we're going to back up the secondary. We're going to bracket the outsides with Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown. We're going to try to limit them as much as possible. We're bringing the heat with the defensive line. You're going to leave the middle of the field open for Dallas Goedert?
I mean, it's not a bad choice.
I'm just saying
I have less fear of A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. With L'Jarius Sneed and Trent McDuffie, I'm just not that worried about it. I'm really not. Because I'm going to heat up Jalen Hurts routinely, which is why my X factor is, and maybe I'm taking the layup here, it's Miles Sanders. If you told me how many all-purpose yards he has in this game, I think I could tell you the score. Because if it's less than 60, they probably got slaughtered.
See, I don't feel like Miles Sanders is the one to tell you because they have 3 different running backs that they use, and hell, Kenny Gainwell's been the better running back statistics-wise through the playoff run.
Yeah, in blowouts.
Sure.
Yeah, you've absolutely annihilated the first 2 teams you played. If Kenny Gainwell's their leading rusher in this game, over under 30, how many points did they get outscored by Kansas City? How long was this a game over under 8 minutes?
See, I see that completely opposite.
I don't, because Miles Sanders is the only dynamic running back in that backfield.
If they're running Kenny Gainwell.
If they are going to do what I think they're going to do, which is we're going to send 5 routinely with the extra blitzer occasionally, which is that's not stereotypical Steve Spagnuolo, which is why I'm so convinced that's how it's going to go. The way to beat that is by killing them with screens, getting Jalen out of the pocket, and having the sleight of hand magic. You're going to chase Jalen, and something bad's going to happen on the backside. That is the way to beat that.
Mm-hmm.
If Miles Sanders can't do it, or Nick Sirianni gets away from it, you're in trouble. Because if you think you're going to drop back and throw to A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, and that's how you're going to win this game, I got a bridge to sell you.
I'm not. I'm gonna slow drip you. I'm gonna do that Novocaine thing where I'm just gonna pound you up the middle, and then I'm gonna take my shots when they beat the coverage, which I think is going to be several times.
You really undervalue this secondary for Kansas City.
I mean,
when it's healthy, which has not been a ton.
Right, but they're not healthy. Like L'Jarius Sneed's just getting over a concussion.
Okay. So you think he's going to be weakened by a concussion? Because I don't think you understand how that works.
Oh, that doesn't make it that doesn't hamper you going into the game?
Is he over it or not? Is he cleared to play in this game? The answer is yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. So it's not like he's got like Lane Johnson's got a shoulder. That shoulder's 70%. That hampers you. Concussion, it's over.
Mm-hmm.
Over, end of message, repeat the line. It's not like I can take advantage of him to the inside because he had a concussion. If he had an issue with his hand or an issue with his shoulder or an issue with his knee, I could take advantage of that.
But is he a lockdown corner? No.
How many corners in the NFL rated higher than L'Jarius Sneed this year?
5 or 6?
9.
Hey,
he was 10th in the NFL.
There you go.
And Trent McDuffie wasn't far behind him. This secondary is better than you think.
Okay.
And you know how much I love A.J. Brown,
Mm-hmm.
and I do. He did a really a disproportionate amount of his work against bad secondaries. I could argue this might be the best tandem they've seen all year.
Okay.
That's how bad that schedule's been.
It's just a lot. It's a lot to put on rookies.
Well, I mean, the only one of those that's a rookie is Trent McDuffie.
Well, and then you got Jalen Watson.
And there are
who's
no
the
rookies
third.
at this point. At this point in the season, there's not a rookie on the field.
Mm-hmm.
You played 1,000 snaps in the NFL. A rookie has gone the way of the old dodo bird. That part doesn't concern me either.
Yep. I mean, I get how the plan should be, or at least in my mind. I'm bringing the heat. I'm putting press coverage on the outside for these receivers, getting physical, hopefully giving me
the
time
only one
to
I
get
want to
home.
press is Devontae Smith. I'm not pressing A.J. Brown.
Well, now he'll eat you alive.
Yeah, I will give you a 5-yard cushion. You want to sit here and dink and dunk your way down the field? Congratulations.
Mm-hmm.
You're not getting in the end zone that way.
Mm-hmm.
I am not going to let you hit big plays on me. That is what Jalen Hurts does. That is how this whole Philadelphia offense works. And if they're able to do that, then I'm going to be super wrong. If you're able to stay in front of the chains and Philadelphia lives in 2nd and 6 and 3rd and 3, you've got a really good shot to win this game. I feel like that's what Steve Spagnuolo is going to keep you from doing.
Mm-hmm.
I am not going to let you bleed me with these little – and I don't even really know a way to describe this play, but Jalen Hurts drops back, everything floods out, and then he's able to just escape the edge rusher and gain 7 yards to the outside. That's where he can kill you.
Mm-hmm.
Because then he can drop back, and on 2nd and 3, that's a home run shot. If he's able to do that, then I'm super wrong.
Yeah. One of the most interesting stats to me that I've seen in the run-up to this is 2nd and 10 plus. When the Chiefs face a 2nd and 10 plus and the other team runs the ball, they're averaging 5.5 yards a carry on this Kansas City defense, which gives a lot of ability for Philadelphia to keep those short distances.
Yeah, that's a little bit of a biased stat, too.
And I get it. And also, I can make any stat say what I want to. But here's the thing. I could take my shots on 1st down. I could run the ball on 2nd down, get a shorter field, and I'm probably going to live in 3rd and 4th down territory all day, all game long, because that's what I'm best at. I'm best at
I feel like you're taking one stat that's really misleading, because what you're not taking into account there is every time there's a hold, every time that now you're in 2nd 20,
mm-hmm.
Of course you average 5 yards. I'm going to let you do that. I'm not going to let you get behind me, but if I'm going to put you in 3rd and 15, I could frankly care less that you got 5. Oh, that's the most Dan Orlovsky stat I think I've ever heard in my life. I love Dan, but by golly, he will take a super myopic stat and make it fit whatever he wants it to.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see it. My X factor, like you said, is Miles Sanders. If Miles Sanders has one of those games that I have seen him have this year, you're in good shape. If he has one of those halves where at the end of the first half, he's got 4 touches, you're in trouble.
It is the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic is slowing. 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. 26 eastbound slow east of Bavard Road to the Blue Ridge Parkway. Light delays 26 westbound between Long Shoals Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. Hendersonville Road northbound is crawling between Long Shoals Road and Overlook Road. Hendersonville Road southbound also very busy between Biltmore Forest and Overlook Road. Accidents in this stretch. Sweeten Creek Road southbound stop and go between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Mills Gap Road. Smoky Park Highway, no problems. Patton Avenue moving well. I'm Linden Fuel with your time saver traffic.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. The new Crispy Melt Taco is now at Taco Bell. It's a freshly fried shell with a melty cheese blend and your choice of seasoned beef or black beans inside. Try it today at participating Taco Bell locations for a limited time only, while supplies last. Contact local stores for prices, hours, and participation which vary. Tax extra.
The Venture X card from Capital One gives you premium travel benefits, perfect for seeing Taylor Swift The Eras Tour. Presented by Capital One. Ooh, I do love her. Earn 5 times miles on flights and 10 times miles on hotels through Capital One Travel.
Enjoy your stay in Suite 13.
Whoa, 13? That's Taylor's lucky number. The Venture X card from Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Chris, this needs to go to Parkville by 3.
Joy to the holiday packages that keep coming at Jimenez Couriers.
It's coming your way, but the drop-off location is changing.
She needs delivery drivers with the gift of punctuality.
Anyone looking to pick up some overtime? Anyone?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Unlike other health concerns, mental illness is not always easy to see. Depression won't show up on an eye chart, and you won't find PTSD by looking at a thermometer. Sorting out a mental health concern takes professional diagnosis and treatment. Anxiety won't just go away under a bandage. If you or a loved one has a mental health concern, call 1-800-662-HELP for free and confidential information and treatment referral. Learn more at samhsa.gov/support.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at RogueCombatClub.com.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
The Sportsocracy.
Let's open up the whole can and kick ass and kill them all. Let the paramedics sort them out.
We're just 121 hours away from Super Bowl 57. Coming up on Sunday, don't forget to join us at the Village Porch, 41 North Merriman Avenue. We'll have drink specials. We'll be hanging out there all afternoon and evening long for the Super Bowl festivities. We got a super chat from our good friend Gage Camplin.
I'm your huckleberry.
He says, thoughts on the Kansas City tackles allowing the most pressures?
I saw that same stat, and I can justify it by where else are you going to attack them from? They have the best interior line in the NFL, and it's not close.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of it's come from Andrew Wiley. Some of it has been speed off the edge with Orlando Brown. But I just feel like even if you get that pressure off the edge, it's Pat Mahomes.
Mm-hmm.
It's Pat Mahomes. I've undervalued that all year long, and I am not doing it again.
Well, I mean, it would be one thing if Patrick Mahomes was infallible in big games. I'll just point out,
good Lord,
the last time we saw him in a Super Bowl, he was demolished by the pass rush of a certain team.
Yeah. That was with a drastically different offensive line than we're looking at right now.
It was, fair enough. It absolutely was. This is much better offensive line.
None of these guys were on that team. So.
It is a much better offensive line than it was.
You might as well have brought up Todd Blackledge right there, because it would have made about as much sense.
But you don't think that they're going to try the same kind of thing? Get in Patrick Mahomes' face and see if you can rattle him.
Has anybody else done it? All year long, has anybody else done it?
I feel like there was got to be one. I don't know. I don't know. I didn't commit the Kansas City Chiefs playbook to memory. Pardon me.
Well, I don't think you needed their playbook. You would just need who they've played over the course of the year. You do realize that the entire year this team's lost 3 games.
Mm-hmm.
One of them was in Indianapolis early in the year that if you glean anything from that, I've seen some very dumbfounding things in my life.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that we just had a balloon make it all the way across America that nobody with a shotgun took down, that is equally confusing to the Indianapolis
Colts. They make shotguns that reach that high.
No, but they make rifles that do. And trust me, I know enough people that have them that I can't believe somebody didn't go, "Hey, Mo, watch this!" The other 2 were the Bills and the Bengals.
Mm-hmm.
That's their 2 other losses combined by 7 points.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just looking at Philadelphia going, yeah, I get this. You can get – I understand you have pass rushers. I get it. I also know this is a guy that I've undervalued enough times. He's as good as there is in this league. And you've got Andy Reid that has a little bit of a burr in his bonnet with Philadelphia anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't get it. This is one of those times, if I'm wrong, I'm going to be historically wrong.
Right.
Because I haven't even acknowledged the fact that Kansas City's not going to win this game. I've been asked this no less than 20 times a day since this matchup came out, and I've told everybody I think Philadelphia's going to get smoked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't see that happening. I think it's going to be a great, entertaining game. It'll be back and forth. It is going to be a chess match for the ages, and we will all experience it together. 41 North Merriman Avenue, Village Porch, on Sunday. Come down and join us. Sports Center update coming up next, and then it'll be daily draft time. We'll look back on the season that was, and we'll be drafting our non-quarterback MVPs for what?
The Super Bowl.
Oh, for the Super Bowl. Oh.
Yeah, there's only one non-quarterback that's eligible for the MVP. I didn't think I had to explain that, because that would be a fun draft. Justin Jefferson, in the message, repeat
the line. Okay, for the Super Bowl, non-quarterback MVPs. Next.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Rain chances going up for Asheville late this week. Main chance for rain Thursday, midday, and afternoon. It is a mild forecast. Low tonight, 40 degrees. And temperatures well into the mid-60s for Wednesday and low 60s Thursday, with rain showers showing up Thursday, Friday. Turning colder into the weekend. Could see some flurries or light snows here Saturday night. I'm meteorologist Scott Lariamore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic is slowing, 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. 26 eastbound slow east of Brevard Road to the Blue Ridge Parkway. Light delays 26 westbound between Long Shoals Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. Hendersonville Road northbound is crawling between Long Shoals Road and Overlook Road. Hendersonville Road southbound also very busy between Biltmore Forest and Overlook Road. Accidents in this stretch. Sweeten Creek Road southbound stop and go between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Mills Gap Road. Smoky Park Highway, no problems. Patton Avenue moving well. I'm Lyndon Field with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Pfizer and BioNTech. Planning for an upcoming trip? It's important to know that updated COVID-19 boosters are currently available at no cost to you. Remember that immunity could take time to build. Check eligibility and schedule at vaccines.gov. Sponsored by Pfizer and BioNTech. Everyone knows that time is money. Go to Jackson Hewitt today for up to $3,500 with a no-interest, no-fee tax refund advance loan. That means money now instead of later. Go to Jackson Hewitt today. For eligible clients, loans by Republic Bank and Trust Company. Details
From the
at
Ingles
jacksonhewitt.com.
Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
Ongoing conversations about the direction of the franchise. The organization has so far told inquiring teams it is not planning to trade Durant before Thursday's deadline. This could be a historical night in the NBA. LeBron James, with a shot at becoming the all-time scoring leader, enters the matchup against Oklahoma City 36 points away from passing Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. That achievement will be the result of LeBron's sustained greatness, notes ESPN's Brian Windhorst.
It's a beautiful side effect of the longevity of his career. It's such an iconic record. I mean, it's really been held by two guys since the 60s, or I guess since the early 70s. That is such an important thing, and it's something to be celebrated and reflected on, but really it's the product of him being so great for so long.
Brian Windhorst on Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max. Lakers Thunder, 9:30 Eastern, ESPN Radio. NHL Sabres signed forward Dylan Cousins, 7 years, $49 million, locking up another key piece of their core.
We all know the game isn't over till it's over. So next time your car breaks down, don't call it quits. Head to eBay Motors. They have 122 million parts to take your car into overtime. Get the right parts at the right prices. ebaymotors.com. Let's ride.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Check. That's check. Enter it now.
Log on now to ESPNAVL.com. And good luck from ESPN Asheville.
He's a degenerate gambler.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
And he's cheaper than oxygen.
He's useless.
But somehow, they make it work. Jeremy Greene, Tank Spencer. There's no holding back in the Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets and Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
It is the Sportsocracy, and it is ESPN Asheville 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The Sportsocracy heard everywhere on the iHeart Radio app and seen everywhere in the Ingles Studio on YouTube. Just go to the youtube.com/the Sportsocracy.
Don't go to the youtube.com. I feel like that'll take you to something nefarious.
Did I say the YouTube?
You did.
Well, I mean, I'm old, so.
You call it the Walmarts, too, so.
I do. You put a "the" on the beginning of everything. Where you want to go eat? The Waffle House. Where you want to go do your shopping?
The Waffle House actually makes sense. I think they should legally change it to the Waffle House.
Where you want to go drinking? The Village Porch. Oh wait, that's actually the name of it.
It is.
Oh, the Village Porch, 41 North Merriman Avenue. Join us this Sunday for Super Bowl festivities. Jeremy is going to try to sell as many mullet makers as possible. Domestic lights with fireball shots dropped in them. That's the only way you can get this, by the way. I think you should force everyone to drink it.
No, because I don't want to drink it that way myself. Now, if it's an apple cider beverage, a little Angry Orchard or whatever those. Angry Orchards still exist.
Yes.
I haven't seen one in a very long time.
Yes, it
then
does.
Again, my trek through the beer aisle is LMNO Domestic Lights. There we go. All right, there's all of them. Which one do I want?
Yes, Angry Orchard still does exist, but I feel like Bold Rock has the corner on the market locally.
Yes.
So,
Bold Rock does make it makes a fine product.
You get a little Carolina Draft with some Fireball mixed in it.
I never liked ciders of any kind. I liked beer-flavored beer until I found Bold Rock, and I went, Oh, this is a whole different ball game.
Yeah, see, if you choose domestic lights over ciders, to me, you hate your taste buds. That's where I fall on that scale.
You're one of those people that never liked beer.
Nope. I was always a liquor guy.
I have one favorite beer.
The next one. Like Tom Brady and Super Bowl championships. He's on to the next one.
Andrew Smith in our YouTube comments asked, what's your top 5 domestic lights? The coldest one, the next one, whatever's in front of me, the most convenient. Yep, that's the 4.
I don't feel like are there that many choices? Could you do 10 different? Could we do a full daily draft and pick 10 different?
Beyond a shadow of a doubt.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Because I think there's Miller Lite, Bud Light, yeah, I'm running out. Coors Light.
Busch Light.
Natty Light. Ugh.
Milwaukee's Best Light. Let's go. You don't want to play
Wait,
this game with me.
they have a light?
Everything has a light.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, see, I can't do domestic lights.
Yeah, Miller High Life has a light. Let me give you a solid piece of advice. If anybody ever hands you one of those, you put it directly in the trash and ask for another.
Better than Bud Light, not even close.
You're out of your mind.
You are in the Sportsocracy, and it is ESPN Asheville. It is time for the daily draft. So non-quarterback MVPs.
Stephen Tao had the right answer. You know what? That's points.
What?
He said you forgot the free one.
Ah.
That's duh. Let's go. God, I love you people.
The free one.
The free one is the best. That should have been the number 1 pick beyond a shadow of a doubt.
True. Very true.
And I actually almost said whichever one you're buying, but I skipped over that and missed the layup.
Jekyll says, do you ever add anything to your beer?
My face. Yeah, that's no.
Like, what, are you putting salt in it? Is this?
I don't like
salt. Are you putting lime in it like a Corona?
I don't like lime.
And that's not a domestic, so.
No. I like. I mean, I add my face. Sometimes I accidentally add my beard. That's about it.
To drop an olive in your beer? What kind of weirdo
I will
are you?
Fight you. Oh, if you bring an olive anywhere near me, I will fight you.
All right, today's daily draft, we are going to do non-quarterback MVPs for the Super Bowl. Jeremy had to explain that to me. He didn't think he needed to, but he did.
I thought it explained itself because we already have the finalists for MVP for the year.
100% did not. Non-quarterback MVPs for Super Bowl 57.
But Jalen Hurts is actively at plus 120. Patrick Mahomes is at plus 130. You can go to betus.com, use our promo code Sportsocracy, and they will give you whatever it is you put in. They'll give you 125% in free bets that you can use all Super Bowl season long because, trust me, we're going to be giving out a lot of props over the next 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
I have the number 1 pick, and I feel like this is the easiest question in the history of time, and it's Travis Kelce. Because Jason Kelsey's not winning it.
No.
But with by the way, you want the greatest layup of all time? There is an active prop out there of how many times do they mention the Kelce brothers are the first to play in a Super Bowl together.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think that line is? I literally took all the money I had in that account when I found it, just went to take it. All of it.
Was it like 7.5?
It's 1.5. They'll do that they'll do that before the game kicks off.
Right.
And apparently it's from the singing of the national anthem to the trophy presentation. How many times do they bring that up?
At least 17.
I'm with you. Over.
Especially if the petition gets through and Mama Kelce is able to flip the coin. They will show that replay 800 times.
Yeah, that's not going to get there. I have seen she made cookies for both of her sons. That was cute.
Just for them? Like they're the only ones that get one?
Yeah. She made little individual containers of chocolate chip cookies and sent them to him.
Oh, well, that was nice of her.
It's cute.
It's cute. Travis Kelce, no doubt. I mean, that's a no-brainer.
He's plus 1,200.
Yeah, if there's going to be a non-quarterback, I could see Travis Kelce getting into the end zone twice. That'll be the difference in the game. And
I think that's one of the best value props on the board.
Okay.
Because I thought he would be plus 350 at worst.
Mm-hmm. Where's Devontae Smith on that?
He is plus 2,500.
Ooh. It seems low to me, but that's my pick. My number one pick, Devontae Smith.
Taking him over A.J. Brown.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a little surprising to me.
Well, I mean, I have two back-to-back picks here, and A.J. Brown's the second one. See, now I win. If either of those win, I win.
Yeah. I'm still shocked you took Devontae Smith over A.J. Brown. I mean, I know you got them both, so it didn't really matter.
Right, but here's and
one of them has much better odds because A.J. Brown's at plus 1,400.
And here's my thought. All right, say I am undervaluing L'Jarius Sneed, and he is able to help put the clamps on A.J. Brown. I don't know. Safety over the top helps him out, and now that leaves Devontae Smith. And I'm not saying he can beat Trent McDuffie like a drum, but I think there's a possibility he could.
I don't see that happening. I don't see it with either one of them. I'll go ahead and tell you, neither one of those would have been my next pick.
Okay.
And I get why you did it.
Then you better go with a running back.
100% I am. I'm going two of them in a row. Miles Sanders, Jerick McKinnon.
Okay.
Both are, let's see. Miles Sanders plus 2,200, Jerick McKinnon's plus 4,000. If a running back wins this, it's going to be one of those two. I'm sure somebody will say Pacheco. Yeah, I don't see him having a good enough game to merit that.
Yeah, no. Because you're going to have to win MVP as a non-quarterback, you're going to have to score multiple times in the game. Or have just an outrageous stat line. Like A.J. Brown has 148 yards and a touchdown. He probably will get MVP.
How many times has a running back won MVP in the Super Bowl?
Oh, gosh. I don't know. I'll say...
This is Super Bowl 57, so it's happened. So we got 56 MVPs.
I'll say 16 times.
It's 7. And it hasn't happened since 1998.
Wow, Terrell Davis.
Terrell Davis is the
with
last
the Denver
one.
Broncos. Wow. Okay.
That was one of the more shocking things that I saw when I looked into this.
Terrell Davis was the first one that came to my mind just because, I mean, he was absolutely lights out for the Denver Broncos.
Wide receivers won it 8 times, and 5 of those are since 2005.
All right, my next pick for non-quarterback MVP for the Super Bowl. I'm going defensive player, and I'm going with Chris Jones. Chris Jones is my number one.
It's plus 4,000.
Because I could see the potential for him, let's say, 2 to 3 sacks on Jalen Hurts. He could possibly have 1 or 2 broken up passes in that. And let's say he forces a fumble and recovers one. Obviously, you got to do something like that to get MVP as a defensive player.
Oh, no doubt.
So, obviously, it's going to be a high-side crazy stats game. But if anybody on these teams is going to do it, I think it would be Chris Jones. So, Chris Jones is my third pick.
Only one defensive tackle has ever won Super Bowl MVP. Randy White. I'm not going to make you guess that because you would have never gotten there.
Got that.
Only had 4 linebackers, 2 safeties, a handful of defensive ends, and it's been a long time. Richard Dent was the last one. That's in 86.
Wow, and who was the last corner?
Corner?
Was it Dexter Jackson?
He was a safety. Dexter Jackson was a safety, not corner.
Oh, okay.
There's only been one corner, and it was Larry Brown. Man, that guy's career just it's
just into the ether.
He was the sparkler of NFL history. Okay. Your career shined so brightly for 5 seconds. Then you went to the Raiders and
then my next non-quarterback MVP. I mean, I feel like at this point we're getting into crazy dark throws.
There's one that's so obvious.
Juju Smith-Schuster.
Plus 10,000.
It's not horrible odds. Again, you're going to have to do something absolutely crazy to get it. Juju's probably the best option as far as Kansas City pass catchers not named Travis Kelce.
I would agree with that. And he's actually behind Marquez Valdez-Scantling, which is
dumb.
I'm not going to say that because it's more likely if somebody hits a 80-yard touchdown, it's
going to be, yeah.
So, I mean, I get why they mitigated that risk. The one that I thought was so obvious was Hassan Reddick, who I am taking next at plus 2,800. Because as you said, if they win this game, it's going to be because they get pressure on Pat Mahomes.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say Reddick would be the one that did that. All right, I have to take one. You know what? I'm taking the ridiculous dart throw because I'm so dumbfounded how this guy has the same odds as Mecole Hardman, who's not playing in the game. I'm taking James Bradbury.
Okay.
I know it is not likely for a corner to win this. It's happened one time in Super Bowl history. But at plus 20,000, I can put $10 on this, and if I'm right, it's $2,000. Yeah. There are worse choices.
Okay.
So that's where I'm headed.
All right.
He has the same odds as Harrison Butker. Stop. And Mike Dana and Zach Pascal and Justin White. Stop it. That's stupid.
200 to 1. I believe like 200 to 1 was what I saw as the kickers to get MVP.
That's plus 20,000.
Yeah. 200 to 1. And somebody in Ontario apparently put 500 on both of the kickers.
So that guy just wanted to say, hey, I'm going to set $1,000 on
See
fire.
how fast I can set $1,000 on fire. All right, my last pick for non-quarterback MVPs for Super Bowl 57. Dallas Goederte. As I said earlier, if your focus is going to be on shutting down the running game and your focus is going to be on the outside, it's going to leave the middle of the field open. And I just don't know that Justin Reed is really going to scare anybody being covered or covering Dallas Goederte.
I mean, I like Goddard. Plus 5,000 is a little rich for my blood. I would need him more in that Juju Smith-Schuster territory.
In the 10,000 range.
Yeah, I need you to be up there more.
Mm-hmm.
But just because I don't like the range of outcomes, I understand why you said it, and I can see him being very influential in this game.
Absolutely.
I just don't really see a path that he wins MVP.
And maybe not.
For nothing else, because even, let's say Philadelphia wins, and Goddard goes 7 catches, 65 yards, and 2 touchdowns. If Travis Kelce went 11 for $140 and a touchdown, even in a loss,
mm-hmm.
I still would have to look at Goddard and go, you weren't even the best player at your position in this game.
Right.
Let alone are you winning MVP.
No, the chances of anybody getting it other than Jalen Hurts.
I think there is a much better shot of that than people think.
Mm-hmm.
When I saw the odds, I was dumbfounded at that. Because I think there's so many ranges of outcomes that make sense.
Mm-hmm. Plus 185. That's Dallas Goederte's anytime touchdown scorer odds. I think I like that. Or is it not enough?
It's probably not enough for me. Anytime touchdown scorer, I'm going plus 250 or higher. Jerick McKinnon. I'm not sure what his is. I'll look it up in the break.
Yeah. Undrafted free agent. You got one real quick before we go to the break?
It would be yeah, I got one.
All right.
Sky Moore.
Ooh, I like that.
Plus 15,000.
Yeah, mine's Kenny Gainwell. See, I think it's the exact how you said.
Plus
the more Kenny Gainwell runs in this game, if you think it's a whole bunch that they're going to lose by $1 billion, I'd see that completely different. If Kenny Gainwell is getting enough to win Super Bowl MVP, they controlled throughout.
Yeah, but then he's not going to get – so it's going to be all garbage yards, and that's – you ain't winning it for that.
Maybe. You are in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville.
Your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic is crawling 26 westbound, approaching Long Shoals Road to the French Broad River. 26 eastbound stop and go between Brevard Road and the French Broad River. Hendersonville Road northbound slow between Haywood Road and Mills Gap Road. Hendersonville Road southbound very busy between Biltmore Forest and Overlook Road. Sweeten Creek Road southbound is stop and go between Rock Hill Road and Mills Gap Road. Sweeten Creek Road northbound stop and go between the Royal Ponds area and Mills Gap Road. I'm Lyndon Fuel with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Staples Stores. Staples Print and Marketing is committed to quality and printing perfect every time. Now at Staples, get $10 off your document printing and marketing materials order of $50 or more. Offer ends $225. See staples.com/store/printbig for details. Try Staples and see the difference.
I'm Martin Hoke, the inventor of Navage Nasal Care, and I love Navage. I've told you about how your nose is the body's air filter, that Navage's powered suction will help flush out allergens, viruses, mucus, and germs, and that Navage will help you breathe better. But what do other people say about Navage? Like Tara, quote, "My doctor wanted me to do saline rinses for my allergies, but I've never been able to successfully use a neti pot. Navage uses suction power, so it's foolproof. There are nights when I'll have particularly bothersome allergies. I'll bust it out, and the results are immediate. It's such a relief. It's become a lifesaver," unquote. She's one of over 100,000 online reviews praising Navage, the all-natural solution trusted by over 3 million people to help you breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and stay healthier without drugs. Navage is available at Walmart, CVS, Walgreens, Target, Rite Aid, and online. Navage, Navage, clean nose, healthy life.
Did you know that Ingles sells more organics than any other grocery store? Or that they run their own dairy? Or that they only serve USDA Choice and Prime meat? Or that they donate 3,956 meals a day to local food banks? Well, now you do. It's all in the bag.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zack with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
Everyone's heard about the housing market and this being the best time to sell a house in years. But the same thing applies to cars. Whether you're looking to buy a car, trade in, or sell that car in the driveway collecting dust, Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville wants to buy your car. They have 2 on-site managers that work with Kelly Blue Book to give you top dollar for your vehicle. You can even have your car appraised instantly at AndersonNissan.com. Stop in and visit them today at 629 Brevard Road in Asheville or call them at 828-365-1663.
Our communities are filled with wonderful people who make living here great. At Home Trust Bank, we're proud of that, and that's why we focus on helping homeowners prepare for what's next. Our local mortgage bankers have the experience you need and exceptional personal service you'll appreciate. Home Trust Bank is ready to help make a house your home. When it's time to buy, visit your local Home Trust branch or go to htb.com/mortgage.
The Sportsocracy.
You were just dumber than a bag of hammers.
Super Bowl 57 coming up this Sunday. Don't forget to join us at the Village Porch, 41 North Merriman Avenue. Jeremy, you say you're going to be showing up around 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon?
I'll be there somewhere in that window, and I'm prepared to qualify. It's going. I'm here. It's marathon, not a sprint.
Yep.
David McPhee in our YouTube comments asked, what can you get the field against a quarterback? If you do it against Jalen Hurts, it's -160. So you get +120 for Jalen Hurts, -160 for the field. And for Mahomes, it's almost identical to that. +130 to -170.
Yeah. I feel like the chances of anybody other than the quarterback winning the Super Bowl MVP is minute. Anyway.
I don't know. This is one of those years that I'm not so sure I agree with that, especially if Philadelphia wins. I could see a path that somebody's just special, whether it's Miles Sanders or Hassan Reddick or one of his defensive guys.
Right. Well, you took James Bradbury. It'd take a multiple interception game to get it done.
That plus 20,000, I think I would take Tank Spencer if it was somebody who was going to play 60 snaps in this game.
There's been some news around the NFL today as some guys are getting jobs, and one of them, former Carolina Panthers interim head coach Steve Wilks. He is now the defensive coordinator for the San Francisco 49ers.
And I guess that makes sense.
Why would it not?
Because he doesn't fit the scheme. That's not really what Steve Wilks does. So I will be interested to see if he has a hand in changing how they – I'm not going to say how they do things. It didn't change from Robert Saleh to D'Amico Ryans. I don't – that's just an interesting hire to me. And it's a very San Francisco thing. Just to hire a smart guy, get him in the building, and we'll figure it out from there.
Mm-hmm. Steve Wilks is a really good coach.
He's a really good coordinator.
He's a really good coach. He's just not a head coach in this league. That's why we were so – right.
But, I mean, that's why he's taking this job.
Sure.
The last two defensive coordinators under Kyle Shanahan are both head coaches in the league now.
Mm-hmm. But you give him the ability to have stars on the defense, which the San Francisco 49ers have quite a few of. I mean, I don't see how this defense takes much of a step back from being number one, if at all.
I don't either. And you just look across the NFC, that makes all the sense in the world. It is interesting to me, though, that they've always stayed, or they've largely stayed in-house.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't this time. It makes me wonder if they just didn't feel like there was anybody that was ready.
I was going to say, at some point,
you lose this many coaches, it's going to have an effect.
Right. You run out of really great candidates.
Well, that's the most interesting part to me, is that you've seen this many coaches leave that San Francisco system, and at what point do you go, all right, so the draft picks were wonderful, but we've lost 8 really smart guys, and it have some kind of effect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just don't know who else would have been on that staff that you could see taking over.
Well, Saleh took several guys with him. I'm sure D'Amico Ryans is probably going to take several with him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. At some point,
you can see a good number of Carolina Panther assistants wind up in San Francisco.
Mm-hmm. At some point, you're going to have to go outside. You can't just keep cycling in guy after guy after guy. I mean, it'd be great if you could, but we're even seeing now with some of the other coaches who have, great hiring practices, they hit on a lot of guys. I mean, even they got to go. Sean McVay, he cycled through everybody that's been under him. So
they hired Michael LaFleur.
Right. But that's what I'm saying. You got to go outside the family at some point because you just
LaFleur's not outside the family, though.
I mean, I guess he's a retread.
He's a retread that's been with, if I remember correctly, I think they were together in maybe Washington. I think he was LaFleur was a low-level assistant there.
Mm-hmm.
He was or he might have come from the Rams and gone to San Francisco. They had been together at some point.
Yeah, at some point, like I said, you run out of talent to be able to elevate to those bigger spots, and Steve Wilks absolutely deserves this shot. Let's see what he can do. Carolina's defense was one of the top 10, top 15?
It was in that ballpark, yeah. And look, we said this when they hired Frank Reich. That was the right call, and I think this is the right call for Steve Wilks, because if you keep that defense intact, I think you're going to get more credit for that than people think. I've heard a lot of speculation today that this was the worst job he could have taken because he's not going to get any of the credit for it if the defense stays good. I'm not so sure I agree with that.
Yeah, I don't think
with
so.
How much churn there has been on that staff, if you and I'm not saying that holding it to this is the best defense in the league or one of the top 2 or 3, depending on which metric you're looking at.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to keep it at that level. It's not like you can regress to 10 and people go, oh, look. Well, I mean, the roster's that good.
They were number 1 in scoring and yards.
Yes.
So, I get if you like Philadelphia, okay, but statistically speaking, I guess the two biggest categories that matter the most in determining who's the best defense, San Francisco was at the top of the league in both of them, in my opinion. You also had Brian Flores being named as the defensive coordinator for the Minnesota Vikings yesterday.
That's a job that if you can make that defense even respectable, you're going to be a candidate for jobs in a year.
Absolutely, and he already was. He's already a guy. I feel like he's working his way back in to the good graces of the head coaching realm.
Well, and he went the exact opposite route. That's a job. Steve Wilks has to show up and keep things as copacetic as possible.
Right.
That defense was already fantastic. Minnesota was a sieve.
Mm-hmm.
If you can get that defense in the top half of the league, then you should be a head coach next year.
And he probably will be if that is the way that goes down. Also, some news out of Denver as Sean Payton's looking to go back to the well to bring back one of Jeremy's favorite coaches of all time.
Our guy, Mike Westhoff.
Yeah, Mike Westhoff. He's trying to get him out of retirement. He's 75 years old and last coached for the Saints under Sean Payton in 2018. He's also been the special teams coordinator for the New York Jets for more than a decade. Worked with the Dolphins as well for a long time.
He's the greatest coordinator of all time and friend of this here program.
Broncos also looking into Ronald Curry as the offensive coordinator.
He's got a lot of looks.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like he's getting a job. It's just a question of which one.
Two-sport star. University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. It's where all the best two-sport stars come from. Of course, I only have really two to name there. You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. 92.9 FM, 880 AM at 1400. Stick with us. Coming up next is the most important message of the day.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Rain chances going up for Asheville late this week. Main chance for rain Thursday, midday, and afternoon. It is a mild forecast. Low tonight, 40 degrees. And temperatures well into the mid-60s for Wednesday and low 60s Thursday with rain showers showing up Thursday, Friday. Turning colder into the weekend. Could see some flurries or light snows here Saturday night. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Drive is slow, 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. 26 westbound crawling between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 26 eastbound slow between Bavard Road and the French Broad River. Hendersonville Road southbound is stop and go between Biltmore Forest and Overlook Road. Hendersonville Road northbound delays between Long Shoals Road and Mills Gap Road. Sweeten Creek Road southbound stop and go approaching the Blue Ridge Parkway and continuing to Mills Gap Road. Sweeten Creek Road northbound slow between the Royal Ponds area and Mills Gap Road. Near Avery Creek, Brevard Road north and southbound delays between Long Shoals Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. I'm Lee Minfield with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Dell Technologies.
Dell Technologies provides growing businesses with tools to do incredible things because we believe there's an innovator in all of us. For advice on smart PCs powered by Intel V Pro that's built for business, call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL.
And now for today's Roblox winter weather alert, iHeartland on Roblox has been walloped by a winter snowstorm. It is a winter wonderland. You can now ice skate at State Farm Park. In State Farm Neighborhood, you can compete in snowball fights, grab a hot cocoa and cookies, and more. There's also special events from your favorite artists and podcasters all month, along with scavenger hunts, exclusive content, and unique items. So enjoy the festive winter weather at iHeartland on Roblox. Head to iHeartRadio.com/iHeartland today.
When I finally drove the old car into the grave, I knew there was only one place I was going to go. Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville, home of the family plan. And yes, they treat you like family. I went in, told them what I was looking for, told them my budget, and in no time, I was signing the paperwork on my certified pre-owned vehicle. They have the area's largest selection on quality pre-owned vehicles and certified Nissans. They go through a 167-point inspection, so you know it's not going to let you down. They gave me the Carfax report, so I know the history of my vehicle. And the Fred Anderson family plan gives me things like oil changes and car washes and loaner cars if I have to have major work done on the car in the future. For me, buying a car has always been an intimidating thought. But the folks at Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville made it super easy. Don't be like me. Don't wait till the last minute to get a deal done. Go to AndersonNissan.com or stop by the showroom at 629 Brevard Road. And don't forget to mention we sent you from the Sportsocracy and get a $250 bonus on your trade-in at Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
I believe real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
Welcome back into the Sportsocracy. Time for the most important message of the day.
Don't do crimes!
And down in Atlanta, crimes were done. DeKalb County Jail is actually where these crimes take place, where a man was caught this past week trying to use a broken window in the DeKalb County Jail to smuggle contraband in. So this reminded me of Shawshank Redemption. You had the Morgan Freeman character. You know, he's the one that can get you things. I've been known to locate certain things from time to time. Well, the guy on the outside, Anthony Dixon, he got caught crossing a guard line with weapons, intoxicants, drugs without consent, criminal trespass, possession of marijuana, and possession of cocaine with distribution intent. Now, they caught him with all of these things. There was a white plastic bag that they found hidden in some bushes just outside of this broken window where he was trying to ferry all the things inside. And yes, they found cocaine, packs of cigarettes, lighters, marijuana, ear pods, hex keys, glue gel, sweets, jewelry, charging cords, and cooked chicken wings. So I guess, are these the lemon pepper loos? Like, are these are the Magic City wings?
Oh, they're fantastic.
They're that much worth it that you're going to do.
I mean, Magic City's wings are totally worth it. I mean, frankly, if you're not going for any other reason, that's certainly a reason to go.
You were trying to sneak cooked chicken wings into the prison. I mean, I get that's probably not your big moneymaker. However, I mean, all of those other things can be readily found in prisons, apparently. Chicken wings, that's probably the rarest of them all. So maybe that was the most valued item.
So I'm going to tell you this story, and I want to see if you can tell me where it hails from. The story is about 37. This story is about 37-year-old Natalie Jade Jarvis. She bought a school bus.
Okay.
It's a repurposed school bus from a school district there in Florida. And she painted it very vividly. And on the side of it, it said sex trafficking awareness. So sounds like she's doing good things for the community.
You would think.
Well, her and another man apparently have lived in this bus for several months in a park in Florida.
Okay. Last
month, the man was arrested on domestic abuse charges. That's not good.
No.
But apparently Miss Jarvis is trying to keep the mantra of sex trafficking awareness alive. And so she went into a gas station on U.S. Highway 190 near a Walmart. And she asked a very simple question. She asked, where could the local office of the Department of Children and Family Services be found? Makes sense. You have a cause, and that's an office that would make sense.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's one element of the story that I left out that is really important.
Mm-hmm.
She was carrying a blowtorch. The person that was working in the gas station sees the colorful bus outside. See, the thing I was saying is, okay, so you had a blowtorch, that's weird. Why did you carry it in the gas station?
No clue.
Like, if you were trying to get away with something, showing up with a flamethrower is probably not the way to do it.
Not at a gas station.
So the attendant of the gas station obviously did what you do, called authorities, and said there was an old, very colorful and covered in graffiti bus with a Virginia license plate that had just left that was looking for the Department of Children and Family Services. So it was not very hard for police to find that bus as it was traveling down that same U.S. Highway 190. So what do you think Ms. Jarvis did? Do you think she, as a law-abiding citizen, pulled the bus off to the side of the road?
No, she ran.
Of course she did. And she ran all the way into the fence on the grounds of the St. Scholastica Academy, which is a school in the county. They then removed her from the bus forcibly, and she was arrested for just a slew of things, not the least of which was possessing a flamethrower.
It's a bold strategy.
100%.
But you got to combat that sex trafficking somehow.
And I'm not going to lie.
Burn it down.
I believe this story was shown to me because, the birds are listening to everything you say. And I have been going through the journey of watching Yellowstone, which now it appears is not going to be coming back because Kevin Costner's schedule is just too busy.
Do what?
There's a rumor that now they're going to be ending Yellowstone after this, because they're at the break of the season.
Right.
Well, after it's done, they're going to replace Kevin Costner with Matthew McConaughey and start another tier of this series. That's a rumor that's out there.
Interesting.
So I am at the point where there was many of the cattle died. This was 3 years ago, so spoilers, sorry. And they had to set the field on fire.
Yep.
And I told Amy, I said, I think I have officially found the one job that I would be qualified for on a cattle ranch, and that is flamethrower man. That I could do. In terms of, I don't know I don't know what horses eat. I don't know what they're allowed to eat. I don't know. Well, there's clover and all kinds of things that they can't eat. I don't know that. Okay, so I'm not qualified for that.
All right.
The one job I am qualified for is, we have to set this field on fire with a flamethrower. Yep, I can do that.
That's my job.
I can do that job. Everything else, I'm really just occupying space. Flamethrower man, that's something I could do.
Okay, all right. So let's roll on here with our off-season previews. As next up, it's the Atlanta Falcons.
This is one of the most interesting teams in the NFL to me.
They are picking 8th in this upcoming NFL draft. I mean, there have been thoughts of, should they draft a quarterback?
No.
They took Desmond Ridder last year. Are you sticking with that? Or are you going to go with a veteran in the offseason?
Well, I mean, it depends on where you think you are. This is one of the only teams in the NFL that could actually feasibly make a deal on Lamar Jackson. If Baltimore they can't come to terms, this is where he would end up, because they have the money, they have the need, and they have the system that would fit. And I'm going to say something that's going to sound a little strange. If I'm Baltimore, all the way in. If I'm Baltimore, and I'm this far apart on the money, and they're willing to give it. Atlanta has the second most cap space in the NFL, and you're willing to give me a just outright. I'm talking the Deshaun Watson deal. It's going to have to be something close to that. You're 1-2 this year. You're 1-2 next year, and probably another one. If you're willing to do that, we can talk. If you're not, then, well, Lamar, that's the best you could do. And now it is time for us to come back to the bargaining table and figure out what we should do.
And if I'm Atlanta, I don't know that I would absolutely discount that possibility.
I was about to say I'd do it in a heartbeat.
I'd
do it in a heartbeat, and I wouldn't think about it.
I don't know about doing it in a heartbeat, but I definitely would consider the option because, I mean, you look at the pieces that Atlanta has. I didn't realize how good, well, I guess good is the right term to use, Tyler Algier was this past year.
Yes.
Over 1,000-yard rusher. He is the future of the running back room there in Atlanta. You've got Kyle Pitts. You got Drake London. Those are better than anything other than Mark Andrews that Lamar Jackson has had to play with.
The system fits.
Yeah,
it makes sense.
The
and you
offensive
can
line
clear
was really good this past year.
You can still clear a bunch of money because they have actively $57 million in cap space. They can get all the way to 100. And if you backload Lamar Jackson's deal, you can put a really good team around this.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only landing spot that makes any sense. And I've heard them attached to each other multiple times over the offseason. In this little window, that seems to be the one spot where people go, Atlanta's going to do something, but we don't know what it is. Because I've heard them attached to Justin Fields as well. So, and it might be a thing of they're just calling on anybody that they could possibly make a move on.
Mm-hmm.
Possible. That also tells me they think this roster is heading in the right direction, and they think they're closer to being the best team in this division than a lot of us on the outside do.
I mean, you got to fix the defense. Like, the defense hasn't been good for years.
No, but I could also argue that the defense is one of its biggest enemies has been the fact that the offense couldn't stay on the field.
Mm-hmm. That's true. But
I mean, because there's talent on that. They killed it last year with Troy Anderson, Arnold Ebiketie. If you already got A.J. Terrell, I mean, there's pieces on that defense.
Mm-hmm. There are pieces, but they're just not a bunch of them.
There's enough.
You got 3 or 4.
There are enough on that side of the ball that with what I would have to give up, I feel like I could win right now if I had that quarterback. I still need another weapon or two. I get it. But that is one move that has made a lot of sense to me. If Baltimore is as hard line as they seem to be,
mm-hmm.
That's the out. You want to make the move, it's there to be had, and there's only one team that can do it.
Yep.
Virtually anybody else, they're going to have to gut the roster. And it gets him out of the conference.
Yeah.
If there was a move to be made, that's where it would be.
Maybe Atlanta should take the swing on Lamar Jackson.
I would make them tell me no.
Okay.
I mean, because you got to think, with Drake London and Kyle Pitts, that's 2 pieces that if I get the right quarterback in there, I can already run the ball.
Mm-hmm.
I did that with Marcus Mariota and Desmond Ridder. I saw nothing from Ridder that makes me think he's the long-term solution here. But I'm not drafting another rookie. To me, that's a hat on a hat. If I'm going to do that, I'm just going to roll with Desmond Ridder.
Mm-hmm.
Because at 8, first of all, I'm not going to trade up to do it. Second of all, I'm not. If you're telling me it's Anthony Richardson or Desmond Ridder, I'm in better shape with Desmond Ridder. I didn't say it was good.
Yeah.
It just he fits what I'm going to do, and he can play right now.
I could definitely see them taking the swing at Derek Carr.
That one I've heard less because I don't think he's interested in Atlanta. He doesn't fit that scheme particularly well. I mean, there are issues with that. I mean, I think the call will be made.
Mm-hmm.
I would say Derek Carr makes more sense to every other team in that division than Atlanta. But it does seem like they want a veteran as opposed to drafting somebody or.
I would want a known commodity. I would want a known commodity because it's just a dart throw. I mean, the closer and closer we get to the NFL draft, I keep hearing more and more people say there's not the home run guy.
No, I mean, and that would be the beauty for Atlanta, and it would be, I think, one of the hard things for Baltimore is, okay, let's say we came off this and we decided to roll with Tyler Huntley. We can, with the capital I get off Atlanta, I can make quite a roster. But I'm not sure that you're going to walk away from this with any star.
Mm-hmm.
That might be one of those things that we look back a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, and go, all right, you got 5 solid pieces, but you didn't get an A guy. Because at 8, you're not going to get one of those. You're taking a shot on somebody like Miles Murphy or Lucas Van Ness, who I had him taking in the mock draft that we did yesterday. That's where that hangs up to me. But I think it's more of that's not the pie-in-the-sky dream that some people are making it out to be. I keep hearing that, and then I see it written in print, and you go into the comments, well, they would never do this. Way more realistic than you think.
Mm-hmm.
Way more realistic than you think.
And to me, there's not much reason for Atlanta not to believe that they can't come away with the championship next year.
You're going to have to tell me no. That's where I would be at with Baltimore. Mm-hmm. You're going to have to flat tell me no, and then I'll move on to I would do the same thing with Chicago. All right, you've got one. Is there a quarterback you like? Because we can give you number 8. You can take Quentin Johnston, and all of a sudden your team looks pretty formidable. Add another piece of draft capital to that. I mean, is it possible that these are pie-in-the-sky things that neither of these teams have any interest in? Sure. Don't know till you tell me.
You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville.
This is your time-saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic slow 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. 26 westbound stop and go between Fanning Bridge Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. Sweeten Creek Road southbound stop and go approaching the Blue Ridge Parkway and continuing to Mills Gap Road. Sweeten Creek Road northbound stop and go between the Royal Pines area and Mills Gap Road. Hendersonville Road southbound stop and go between Biltmore Forest and Overlook Road. Near Avery Creek, Brevard Road, north and southbound, traffic is crawling between Long Shoals Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. I'm Lynn Benfield with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Tyson Furniture.
At Tyson Furniture, we have a huge selection of furniture, honest values, and great service. We are a big store, and Black Mountain has wonderful restaurants and interesting shops to explore. Visit us at Tyson Furniture in Black Mountain, where beautiful homes begin.
Live from Radio Row, it's Super Bowl week, and there's no better way to stay up to speed than with the Around the NFL podcast. Join me, Dan Hansis, and my buds, Mark Sessler and Greg Rosenthal, for the latest football news with just a touch of mirth.
We've got the #1 football podcast in the world, and Rihanna is playing the Apple Music halftime show. It doesn't get much better than that, guys.
Hang out with us live from Glendale, Arizona, all week long. Listen to Around the NFL on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Battery trouble? You might just need a fresh charge, and we can take care of that free of charge. But if it is time for a new battery, we've got replacement batteries that'll fit your needs, starting at just $79.99. You can learn more about our battery selection at AutoZone.com. That's what makes us America's #1 battery destination.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Claim based on data from the NPD Group 2021.
Hi, I'm Chad Greenway. After retiring from the NFL, I've embraced my new role coaching my kids in their youth sports. Our Youth Basketball Association made the decision to use trusted coaches to train, screen, and educate all of our basketball coaches. Visit trustedcoaches.org to learn more. I'm a trusted coach. Are you?
The Ingles 2023 Southern Conference Downtown Dribble and Kids Fest, presented by Champion Credit Union, will be held Saturday, March 4th, 9:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. at the Roger McGuire Greene at Peck Square Park. The Downtown Dribble will feature interactive games, inflatables, pep bands, cheerleaders, and parade. Each participant will receive a basketball, Downtown Dribble t-shirt, and a ticket to the noon session quarterfinal basketball games. Check-in will begin at 9:30 a.m. at Roger McGuire Greene. To register, visit downtowndribble.eventbrite.com.
Everyone's heard about the housing market and this being the best time to sell a house in years. But the same thing applies to cars. Whether you're looking to buy a car, trade in, or sell that car in the driveway collecting dust, Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville wants to buy your car. They have 2 on-site managers that work with Kelly Blue Book to give you top dollar for your vehicle. You can even have your car appraised instantly at AndersonNissan.com. Stop in and visit them today at 629 Brevard Road in Asheville or call them at 828-365-1663.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at RogueCombatClub.com. It is the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. I'm Tank Spencer, and he's Jeremy Greene. And Jeremy always likes to make fun of me because I'm cheaper than
dirt.
Yeah.
You are the cheapest human I've ever met in my life.
Any chance I can get to save a couple of bucks, I will take it.
So yesterday, news came out that AMC Theaters has a new tiered pricing system that's going to go into effect in the not-so-distant future.
Okay.
What this means is that there will be a value sight line, which is the seats in the direct front. That's the front row where you're craning your neck to see.
Yeah, out.
There will be the preferred sightline, which is in the middle, and then everything else will be the standard sightline.
Okay.
Standard sightline is still going to cost what it costs now. We looked this up in the break. It's about $12.30 here in Asheville. It's what it costs to get into an AMC theater right now.
Yeah. In the evening, non-matinee price. That's what it costs.
Those awful front row seats will probably cost somewhere in the neighborhood of $8 to $10. And the preferred, I'm going to say, is about $20.
Wow, you think it would be that different?
That's
it'd be an $8 markup.
That's what that seems to be the thought.
Huh.
But I mean, because they're trying to find any way to make money because nobody's going to the theaters. Because why would you? These movies end up on streaming services 2 weeks after they're done in theaters.
Absolutely.
Why in the world would I pay $20 to go to a movie?
And they're not even full runs anymore. Like, remember, you used to have to wait for months to be able to see a movie after it was released on DVD or whatever. That doesn't exist anymore.
No.
Now you have like a solid maybe 4 or 5 week run in the theaters, and then immediately it goes to a streaming service. So yeah, I'm gonna sit at home and I'm just gonna watch it on the streaming service because I've got them all.
I'm at the point that I feel like movie theaters you don't understand that you're going to be one of these coronavirus casualties. There is absolutely nothing you could do that would get me in a movie theater. Nothing. There have been movies I wanted to see.
Mm-hmm.
I knew when I didn't go to a theater to watch a Batman movie. Oh yeah, we're done here. You're the typewriter about 1983.
Right.
There is nothing you can do to salvage this.
I think we're just so busy. We're so busy as a society. We don't want to make time to do things like that. We'll just wait.
Well, I mean, I told the story long ago of the cat lady the last time I went to a movie theater. I spent the entire movie sneezing because her jacket was covered in cat hair, and I'm deathly allergic to cats.
I love movie theaters.
I detest them, but
I've
obviously a little biased.
always loved movie theaters, and yeah, depending on what the tiered price is, like if it's $3 or $4 extra bucks, like if I got to pay $17 instead of $13 to sit in the premium seats, okay.
No shot I would ever do that.
You could not. You unless it's going to be $4 for front row seats. I'm out. I am not going to skip.
That shocks me
that
coming
money.
from you. I mean, this plan has been absolutely crushed online.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now you're going to make it. You're going to give us another reason not to come to theaters.
Right.
Do you realize how much AMC has lost?
Oh.
In the first 3 quarters of 2022, they lost $700 million.
That doesn't surprise me.
$1.27 billion in 2021 and $4.6 billion in 2020. That is staggering to me.
Mm-hmm.
Just send them straight to a streaming service. We don't need a stupid theater. Okay. I mean, I understand there's some people that like them, and you could probably take every theater that exists, cut it down to one in your city, and that one theater could survive.
Mm-hmm.
But in Nashville, there are 10 within a 25-block radius. That's done.
Yeah.
Those days are over.
Biltmore Grand. That's all I need.
It's the only one you need.
Biltmore Grand. That's the one that I will always go to if I'm gonna go to a movie theater. 3D movies that used to be the big get. Like to go to the theater to see it, you had to go. You wanted to go see the 3D version, but then that went out of style, or
it was never in style for me. I don't need need to feel like I'm in the movie.
Yeah.
Just show me the movie.
It is the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. 80 for Brady if you want to go see it tonight at 6 o'clock. AMC Theaters, 12:30.
You lost me at Jane Fonda. That's going to be a no from me, dog.
We'll be back with you tomorrow right here on ESPN Asheville at 3 o'clock. We'll have more Super Bowl breakdowns and, of course, more of your comments in the YouTube stream.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Rain chances going up for Asheville late this week. Main chance for rain Thursday, midday, and afternoon. It is a mild forecast. Low tonight, 40 degrees. And temperatures well into the mid-60s for Wednesday and low 60s Thursday with rain showers showing up Thursday, Friday. Turning colder into the weekend. Could see some flurries or light snows here Saturday night. I'm meteorologist Scott Lauriamore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Driving slow, 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. 26 westbound stop and go between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. Near Avery Creek, Bavard Road north and southbound heavy volume between Long Shoals Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. Hendersonville Road southbound, very busy between Biltmore Forest and Overlook Road. Sweeten Creek Road southbound, stop and go between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Mills Gap Road. Sweeten Creek Road northbound, delays between the Royal Ponds area and Mills Gap Road. I'm Lynn Benfield